64 degrees at 6:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Good morning, Rose Dalton.
What is the smelliest type of jacket you can buy?
Oh, smoking jacket.
A windbreaker.
See, now that's comedy.
That's smart.
Now that's comedy. Now, all day, you heard the moans of the people listening. Oh. And then they're like, well, I got to write that down. Hold on a second. Let me get to my phone. Hold on a second. What's the smelliest jacket you can buy? A windbreaker.
Oh, I hate that. I'm going to use that later.
That is a great Halloween joke, too.
It is good.
That's a great Halloween joke. And what's the smelliest kind of jacket you can buy? A windbreaker. And then they're going to just
Extra candy for you.
They're just going to throw candy at you.
Take as much as you want.
Do you give you probably give full candy bars in your neighborhood, don't you?
No.
Give me the full Snickers.
No, I give broccoli.
I need raisins.
Toothbrushes and floss.
Raisins and pomegranates. That's my big thing.
Poms are expensive.
I actually prefer broccoli and asparagus. I find that to be kids come in droves.
I bet.
Yeah. And then the day after Halloween, I always have eggs all over my house. I can't figure it out. I hate Halloween. All right.
Yet you're going on a Halloween-themed Disney cruise.
The things we do for our children, okay? That's all I can say is someday she's gonna understand the sacrifices I'm making for her. Karen Travers is at the White House, and this morning the news is ain't nobody budging on this government shutdown. So they're saying hunker in for the long haul. Hopefully you canned up some peaches and some tomatoes from the fall harvest, because this might take a while. Karen Travers got that in a half hour. Jim Ryan's going to be joining us. The common cold getting more and more common. That's not good. Brett Garrett's got us talking about the rise of political violence in males and how it is. Everyone wants to scream and yell left or right. It's males are the ones who are committing these. Oftentimes white males, young white males. What's going on with the young white male population that is driving them to violence? Random mental health induced violence. Brett Garrett's going to talk to us about that at 7:50. Frank Cusimano is going to be along. And then, as many of you know, I grew up with a stutter, and you don't outgrow a stutter. Sometimes you do, but once a stutter, always a stutter. And there are things you can do to sort of mitigate the disfluency. Matter of fact, I was at a store yesterday, and the checkout kid had a pretty bad speech impediment, and my heart breaks into 100 pieces when somebody, because I don't know, it's just I feel their pain, or
Do you
I
tell
know
them? Do you?
Oh no. I was checking out, and he was doing one of these. He stutters like my sister stutters, and me, where you say, Rose, I'm going to go to the store, or, do you want me to put that in a bag? Right? It's one of those. And so I was just watching him converse with me. I was returning something, and he couldn't have been any nicer. But I was just there, and I was just, it was heartbreaking. I wanted to hug him. He was fine, right? So if I hugged him, I'm sure he would have been like, "Why are you hugging me?" So,
Or like if you said to him, like took it upon yourself to say, "I have one too," and then he could be like, he may take that personal, like
I don't know.
Like if he doesn't, I guess that's a slippery slope.
I don't know.
But I feel like that would be so nice.
Hi, I noticed your stutter. I don't
what?
stutter.
I don't have a stutter. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I'm just uncomfortable around you, sir.
So getting into radio, you wonder why do you get into radio? Well, one of the things when I got into radio, I promised myself is that I would never shy away from talking about it, or never be embarrassed to talk about it, or never not want to talk about it, or try and hide that I have a stutter. I am who I am, right? I'm Popeye. And so we've had groups come on and talk about stuttering, and the reaction we get from the audience is again heartbreakingly overwhelming, because there's so many parents whose kids they don't know where to turn. Nobody talks about it. This is one of those things, one of those disabilities where you're allowed to make fun of the person. You say the wrong word, or you get stuck on the word and say talk much, right? Someone's in a wheelchair, they don't say walk much, right? I mean, it's you would never say that to somebody in a wheelchair. Even the most crass person in the world wouldn't say that.
Right.
But you can with a stutter. Anyway, I bring this up because they reached out to me. Because believe it or not, and again, blow your mind about this. So the St. Louis University speech team is going to come out and talk to us. They're trying to get an initiative passed. You know how on your license you have like
restrictions like eyeglasses or donor or whatever.
Deaf,
right? Yeah, they want to put on your card, on your driver's license, speech impaired. And the question is why? Well, if a police officer pulls you over and he says, give me your license and registration, and you do one of these, right? All of a sudden, he's thinking you're being a jerk. He might take it, she might take it the wrong way, and all of a sudden you've got yourself in a situation where...
Out of the car, sir.
Right, it escalates. And so they want some type of driver's license moniker to signal to the first responder that, hey, this person, especially in this stressful situation, has a hard time communicating with you, so be aware and be on alert. And when I read, I was like, I can't believe, one, we don't have something like that, and two, again, you just don't think of it because, you don't, that's not in your world. You wouldn't think, oh my goodness, I'm in an accident and I'm stuck, and you tell the police officer, get me out. Well, if you can't say get me out, how does the police officer or the first responder help you?
It's a fantastic idea.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Almost like using it as a medical alert bracelet.
Yeah.
Like you might as well you could never err on the side of too much information.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like I suffer from some type of mental illness.
Right,
it just
right.
gives
Or
that police officer that much more.
Yeah, right. Help them, help
Yes.
me. Right,
Oh,
yeah,
I
help
love
them,
that.
right. Help
Yeah.
them avoid any situation.
Absolutely.
So they're going to come on and sort of talk about their drive, their initiative to sort of bring awareness to this issue. And they asked me, I was like, done, whatever you guys want to do. So they're going to come on a little bit later on in the show. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll take phone calls and text messages and everything else. But I have a couple, we got to check in with Captain Paul Kowski. Captain Paul.
Yes, McGraw.
I was reading the text line. Tell the story about giving fake traffic reports at the first radio station you worked at. That is a true story. But we don't. I'll tell it some other time. We don't have time because we have to get a real traffic report. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. Westbound 70 is closed between Grand and Adelaide due to an accident. Traffic is at a virtual standstill back to the Museo Bridge. And taking a look at some drive times, it's a 10-minute ride from 255 at the Jefferson Barracks Bridge to 44. It takes 14 minutes to go from 270 at the Chain of Rocks Bridge to 170, and 10 minutes from 141 and Riverport down to 64. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550. KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The mild mornings but warm to hot afternoons will continue. A low of 62 in the morning Thursday. Some outlying areas into the 50s, but then partly cloudy and heating up quickly. A high of 88 degrees. Can't rule out a spot shower. Only a 10% chance late day and into the early evening Thursday. Most stay dry, and this is still mainly a dry pattern. Partly to mostly sunny Friday and hot again with a high of 88. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery, and it's fall in all shapes and sizes except for the temperature out there. And let's go grab some barbecue, shall we? Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. It's Thursday. Call up a friend and say, hey, let's head over to Three Bay and chow down. It's at Woods Mill and Clayton Road. Woods Mill and Clayton Road, there's a gas station. Lamp and Lanterns over there. There's a supermarket over there, a couple of banks, a couple of fast food joints, right? It's a nice little place of commerce, Woods Mill and Clayton Road, right there by 141, sort of flies right by. There's a gas station. It's called West County Phillips 66 gas station. There's no reason for you to know what the name of that gas station is. It's a very nondescript gas station. Probably driven by a million times, gotten gas there a bunch of times. But in the back, if you follow your nose, there is a barbecue joint in the back. It's been there 10 years. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. You walk in, you're like, really? This is a barbecue joint? It's not very fancy. Very somewhat industrial. They don't have white tablecloths. They don't have a maitre d' to sit you. All they've got is great staff, can't be any friendlier, and great food. So if you are a barbecue enthusiast, and if barbecue's your jam, or even if it's not, you want to try some good barbecue, Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. It should be up there in the pantheon of St. Louis barbecue. They just don't play that sort of championship contest game. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Go order it, dine in, DoorDash, catering's great too. 3BayBarbecueandBakery.com.
Hey, it's John Carney with an invite. Not to come to my house, that would be boring. How about a fall home tour at Innsbruck, Saturday, October 18th, noon to 4. And if you haven't been out there, this is a great opportunity to see the A-frames, to see the tree houses, the beautiful homes, the condos, and one of them could be yours. But what a great way to find out. Enjoy the lakes, the golf, and more. Out at Innsbruck, open house on Saturday the 18th, InnsbruckResort.com.
Hey, the number 2 crew reporting for duty.
Number 2 crew. Let's get in that yard and clean up that doggy doo.
The number 2 crew will visit your yard once a week in the St. Louis area, and they'll take care of your dog's business. Think of them as your yard's best friend.
We are the number 2 crew. We do poo, you do you.
Customers can sign up through their website and utilize their customer portal for any sort of changes or updates. The number2crew.com or 314-717-8880.
We pick up what your dog left behind.
The number2crew.com.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Football is back, which means Dogtown is back. Dogtown Pizza, that is. And with 12 games on Mizzou's upcoming football schedule, you can have a different pizza every game. Kick off the season with a bacon, have a hot chicken on homecoming, and save that pepperoni peppercini, my favorite, for Arkansas. It's football season, and nothing goes better with the pigskin than a hot Dogtown Pizza. Let's cheer on those Missouri Tigers. M-I-Z... D-O-G, Dogtown Pizza, and DogtownPizza.com.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. we're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, 622 here, Big 550 KTRS. So this ongoing saga of me trying to buy a TV set is really getting ridiculous.
I thought it was the mount that you were having problems.
Okay, so I wanted to go buy not a big screen TV. I wanted to buy a small screen TV. So I bought a small screen TV and an arm mount so I could mount it on my desktop so I could have the TV while I have my computer. Seems pretty simple. Well, this has turned into a nightmare. So I went to a store and I bought 2 TVs and a mount. But it turns out I bought a computer mount and not a TV mount. So I went back yesterday and I brought back the computer mount and I said, you guys sold me I felt like George Costanza. You guys sold me ladies' glasses, right? You guys sold me the wrong tabletop mount. They couldn't have been any nicer. They took it, right? It was an open box, right? You walk back, you're like, apparently you guys take these back, right? You just hand it back.
It's not closed all the way,
right,
like
yeah.
Scotch tape. On
right,
this.
And she's like, are all the pieces in here? I'm like, I guess so. I don't know.
I didn't use them.
I don't know. Whatever I needed, it didn't work. So here, just take it back. I don't know what they do with those things. So then I go to the back, and I see the guy who sold me this concoction. And I'm like, hey, you sold me ladies' glasses over here. So now he gets involved with it. Then some other guy who's either worked for Samsung or worked for the store with the yellow sign. I can't really tell. So we start having this conversation about how to solve my problem. So I ask these two at some point, because they start getting into a conversation, right? Oh, he needs the XJ9, he needs the XR50. No, he needs the QR7. That's what he needs, right? I'm like, oh, guys, can I ask you just a philosophical question? What's the difference between a TV monitor, TV screen, and a computer monitor? Well, it's all about the CPUs and the this and the, and I was like, no, I'm not asking that question. I'm asking, can I buy a computer monitor and attach a Roku to the computer monitor? And it was like I asked them, like, how do you split an atom? They were like, So both of them, in unison, go to their phones, right? So they go to their phones, and they're like, I felt like I was on an episode of, like, Quantum Leap, right? Ziggy says...
And where are you at? Circuit City?
Yeah, I'm at Circuit City. Yeah, I went back into the DeLorean and went to Circuit City. So they look down at Ziggy and they're like, well, Ziggy says it's so, right? This magic 8-ball they have. So I was like, okay, so if I can buy a Roku and attach it to a computer monitor, or buy a Roku and put it on a TV, what's the difference between a TV and a computer screen? And again, they just didn't have an answer to it. So I don't know the answer.
Well, here's the thing. A Roku, you just need an HDMI connection.
Or a USB.
Yeah, so why did you try it? I mean, do you have a Roku at home?
So in this nightmare doom loop I'm in, I have the Rokus, and they worked on the TVs, so they convinced me, because all they have is computer mounts, and they don't have mounts for small TVs.
Right, because nobody uses small TVs.
Right, because they're like, yeah. I'm like, do you guys sell a lot of these 24-inch TVs? No. That's why we have plenty of them. So I have the Roku. They've now convinced me to return the TVs that they sold me And I said, okay, you understand I've thrown away the boxes and I don't have any boxes. They said, bring them back. So I was like, okay. So now they sold me 2 computer monitors.
Okay.
So as I'm walking out, I'm like, this has got like speakers on them, right? Oh, well, hold on a second.
That's the difference.
So now they go back. They're like, oh, this. If you want a speaker on a monitor, that's going to cost you $245. And I was like, or you can go and get an Alexa and send. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is insanity. So then they found me a monitor for $100 that has a speaker on it. And I was like, I don't really care about the sound. I just, all I needed is to hear it. I don't need a supersonic, funkaphonic, soundaphonic, Blaupunk on the thing. So now they've gotten me. Now they're going to send me a computer monitor so it can match. So then I repurchased the computer mounts. I bought monitors, brought back the TVs, and now we'll see how this goes.
So you have not yet plugged in your Roku.
That I plugged in the Roku on the TVs. It works fine.
Right.
Now I'm waiting for the monitors to come to see if it works. They said it should work on
I mean, I can't imagine why.
Right. So again, I ask the question to the universe, what's the difference between a TV and a computer monitor?
All TVs come with a speaker built in. Clearly, not all monitors do.
So that's the difference.
That's all it is.
That's the difference.
I mean, maybe there's just different capabilities. The way it's the memory, or the way that the server, or something.
I don't know.
Or maybe the only difference is a computer can act as a computer and a TV.
Because a computer needs needs a Roku. The TV, right? The monitor needs a Roku and or just straight up internet, right? I can go to YouTube TV and stream YouTube TV on their website.
Right, but you can't like search the web on a television, can you? Like you don't have
if it's attached to a computer,
right?
But I can't search the internet just with a monitor either. That's got to be hooked up to the computer.
True. Do all the speaker thing's killing me. Now it occurred to me. I'm like, I guess monitors don't come with this. Don't have built-in speakers, right?
Or they do. Some do, some don't. So again, I have yet to. No one's been able to answer.
They couldn't explain it. The guys at Circuit City couldn't explain it. To you?
No one has yet to be able to explain what is the difference between a TV and a computer monitor.
I have asked ChatGPT.
Okay, and it's going to talk about CPUs.
And Gronk.
Yeah.
No,
racist.
TVs and computer monitors may look similar, but they're designed for different purposes and have key differences, features, performance, and usage. Computer monitors are meant to be looked at up close. TVs are meant to be looked from farther away.
Pixels and the
higher density. Remember when you would walk up to a TV and put a magnifying glass on it?
I never did that.
And because you could see the lines.
Okay.
The computer monitors have higher pixel density.
Okay, so don't put a magnifying glass up to a monitor. This is like saying the difference between a Sunday shoe and a sneaker.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing.
It's the shoe. It's just you put it on your feet and you walk on it.
Don't wear hard seal shoes on the gym floor.
It's just a different money grab, right? It's just to get you to buy different.
Again, they're the same thing. But I was at Best Buy. They couldn't have been any more customer friendly. So I don't want to come down on anybody at Best Buy. But they were just flummoxed when I was like, just guys, what's the difference? What am I? And it was like, it came down to
the mounts that they sell.
Right,
that's the difference.
The TV doesn't fit on a computer mount.
That's it.
And the computer mount doesn't fit on a TV mount.
So therefore, you have to buy.
And
separate.
they build small monitors. They don't build small TVs.
And that's another thing it says. It says the size and Rose. It also says the speakers.
Yeah.
So
that's
there you go.
No, there you go.
Stick with the show, man. We're teaching you
All
stuff.
right, so I'll let you know the ongoing saga of trying to buy a small TV continues.
Let us know tomorrow if the Roku works. That's what we're.
It's so weird. You live in a world. I need a 95-inch TV. We have 7,000 of them. I need a 24-inch TV. We can't help you. Sorry. 631, Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. I bought a 19-inch TV on Amazon a few years ago for the kitchen. So that works pretty well.
Okay, how is it mounted?
Well, it's not mounted. It's on top of the microwave, so.
So it's on a stand?
Yeah, it's on a stand, exactly.
All right. How did you got, it's just a regular TV?
Yeah, just a regular flat screen TV.
Yeah, all right, good to know. All right, Captain Paul, Way to rub it in. St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
Westbound 70 is closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway, and it's bumper to bumper back to Broadway and Cass. An accident reconstruction team is headed to the scene. And northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got two locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Captain Paul, thanks. Weather-wise, look, do I really need to do this all morning long? It's the same as yesterday. It's going to be hazy. It's going to be hot. There's going to be plenty of sunshine, no clouds, high of 88. Deal with it. 67 right now. I can't tell which I'm more annoyed at, the weather or like saying it every day. It doesn't change. 6:33, let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that additional police officers will be deployed at synagogues across the UK after the attack near Manchester left 4 people injured. Starmer plans to chair a meeting of the government's emergency committee. Jane Goodall, the conservationist renowned for her groundbreaking chimpanzee field research and globe-spanning environmental advocacy, has died. The Jane Goodall Institute announced her death Wednesday, saying she died of natural causes while in California on a U.S. speaking tour. Goodall was 91. In local headlines, the City of Columbia and University of Missouri have unveiled plans to fight crime. The action comes following the shooting death of a Stevens College student in downtown Columbia last weekend. The plans include increasing police staffing, more officers on patrol in the downtown area during weekends, and meeting with the governor to discuss state resources and other programs to improve safety. The government shutdown is affecting the Gateway Arch. Visitors are allowed to walk the arch grounds, but the doors to the National Monument are closed and tram rides are suspended. 65 degrees. Time now is 6:34. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Talking to somebody from out of town, they said they went to the arch. And we were talking about the egg, and you get in the arch egg, and you go up to the top, and it is the best. It is the best in Art Deco and that 60s sort of retro modern kind of
the seats,
everything
the
about
tram.
it.
You're talking about the tram?
The whole arch experience is just so fantastic.
Movie
1964.
Monument to a Dream.
Oh my gosh! Like
Yeah.
I will just watch that. Like that movie is.
It gives you vertigo.
It's insane, but it's like it only happened 1964.
Yeah, they closed it. Yeah, late 60s.
Yeah, like Dad would
when
be
they
like, I remember driving down 70 watching them ad pieces. Can you imagine?
Jack Buck tells the story when they put that last wedge in, where they had to pour water on it to loosen it up so they could put the last wedge in.
Could you imagine?
Nuts. 6:35 here, Big 550 KTRS. Karen Travers should be. Karen, next time you come to St. Louis, we'll take you up into the arch. Show you what a real good time is.
I was just looking on Instagram early this morning of a friend who took her kids there, and I was like, I forgot you could go all the way up to it. It's very cool.
Oh, very well. You can't go up to it now because it's closed, because the government's closed.
Oh.
But when the government
Well,
reopens, come on
you must
out.
have been there in September. Yes.
Right. We will take you to the top of the arch. I know people.
Yes.
All right. So it seems like, Karen Travers, people are starting to dig in a little bit with this government shutdown.
Yeah, and, we had talked about this. They took a vote yesterday that mirrored the vote on September 30th to try and pass resolutions to fund the government for 7 weeks. They failed, as expected. Today, the Senate's out for the Jewish holiday. They'll be back tomorrow. It's not clear if there's going to be any conversations happening today. There are no real negotiations going on at this point. Everybody is dug in. The president didn't do anything yesterday public. There was no indication that he was engaging with lawmakers. Vice President Vance came to the White House briefing and said, I'll go to the Hill. I will meet with Senator Schumer. I'll meet with any Democrats who want to meet and have conversations. He notably didn't say that the president was willing to do that. So, but again, there aren't conversations like this happening right now. We'll see if tomorrow there's any momentum, but I think today is kind of going to be just a on ice day, if you will, and nothing's going to happen today.
It's a game trying to blame the other side, and we'll see how that goes. But now, what about Donald Trump's retribution game and Donald Trump's threatening to massive layoffs and withhold funding. Where are we with all that?
Yeah, and it's all very real. The president did an interview yesterday and said there could be firings, and that's their fault, meaning Democrats. The administration has said that there will be layoffs at some point. The question is when. The vice president indicated yesterday that it's not a final decision at this point, and that if it drags on for days or a few weeks, then there would have to be layoffs. But Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt at the exact same podium minutes later said that this would be imminent, within 2 days, very soon, layoffs. And that's also what we are told that House Republicans heard from the White House budget director, that the administration would start firing federal workers in the next day or two. I think the big question, and it's not answered, is why. My colleague Mary Bruce tried to push the vice president on this yesterday because this hasn't happened before in shutdowns. Federal workers aren't getting paid right now. So, some are on the job, the essential workers. Many are furloughed, about 750,000 not going to work, but nobody's getting paid. And he said yesterday that, well, you have to fire people to keep essential services going. They're very worried about essential services. But the administration hasn't made clear, what services are so at risk that they need to lay people off who aren't getting paid anyway to keep things going.
Yeah, Donald Trump being the wild card, this government shutdown has also not just dealt with firings and furloughs and all that stuff, but also seems to be threatening government funding of projects and infrastructure projects sort of directed at Democratic states and or cities.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. There's $18 billion in infrastructure that the White House said yesterday is now frozen. That's going to New York City for a Hudson Tunnel project and the Second Avenue subway project. New York City, of course, being home to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. These are big projects for those two Democratic leaders. The White House also said yesterday it was going to block $8 billion in energy projects in 16 states. Notably, all those 16 states voted Democrat in the last presidential election.
Yeah, again, it's hard to read the tea leaves and what the future is going to hold, but it just seems like from St. Louis, reading and watching and listening to you, Karen Travers, that both sides are pretty dug in, and this might be a little bit longer than we think.
I think, yesterday the vice president was asked how long he thought this was going to be, and he said he wasn't going to make a prediction, but he said, based on just kind of a pure guess, he didn't think it would be long because he thought that there would be some moderate Democrats who he said were showing signs of cracking, indicating, they had 3 who voted for that Republican resolution yesterday and on Tuesday, and that they could get 5 more to just open up the government to then continue the other negotiations on the policy, the healthcare issues that they want to discuss.
Stay tuned. Karen Travers, good stuff. As always, have a good day.
Thank you.
640 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital because life-changing, life-altering surgeries and procedures happen every single day at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. You drive by Choteau and Grand, and you don't even realize what miracles happen every single day there. You should. And they try and sort of tell the world what's going on in there because kids and families come from all over the world to get treated right here in St. Louis. And it's something we should be not only proud of, but we should bust our buttons because of all the work being done there at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Every single day, life-changing, life-altering. We team up with them for all sorts of occasions, including Light Up Glennon. It's a great night. We have 2 nights, and we sing Christmas carols to the kids who are otherwise stuck in the hospital. We've been doing it so long. The kids who we started with are grown, got better, thanks to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, and now come back and bring their own families to Cardinal Glennon and sing Christmas carols to the kids because they know how special that night was. Not a dry eye in the house when you sing Christmas carols on a cold December night and wishing these kids a Merry Christmas. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. To find out more, glennon.org.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family, to understand your case and your injury, and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision, should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Bingham's Homestyle Restaurant has been a staple in St. Charles for 35 years. Our comfortable, casual atmosphere offers some of the best comfort food you've ever had. Customers might know our delicious breakfast, but you can have whatever you want, anytime you want, with our full menu 24 hours a day. Nothing warms your heart like Gingham's famous vegetable soup, and we can cater your event, too. If you like homestyle food and great friendly service, you'll love Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation? Feed me Seymour. Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town. Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, westbound 70 is closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to Broadway and Cass, and an accident reconstruction team is on the scene. Elsewhere, an accident on northbound 55 at Butler Hill is blocking the 3 right lanes with the stop and go back up to Merrimack Bottom. From the KTRS St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
It's early October, but with a summer feel out there. High temperatures 10 to 15 degrees warmer than normal right on through the weekend. 88 and partly cloudy this afternoon. Now, most of us will stay dry, but we will watch for an isolated shower or two to pop up this afternoon into this evening. That would be a welcome sight. Mild lows then in the low to mid 60s early Friday, and then we pop right back up to 88 again tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk about the St. Louis Classic Company, because I've been doing commercials for them for 20 years, and I think I've failed you, and I've failed them. Angela came out to the house yesterday to look at some things and change some things around, and as the little one gets a little older, right, she runs down to the basement and is the Tasmanian devil and throws things all over the place. So you need to organize the basement. So they came out yesterday and they were like, "What do you think of this?" I was like, "Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. What do you think of that?" Oh, I hadn't even thought. What? It is amazing when you live in this world of organizing and space, and their mind just works differently. And so you just can't think of all the things they do. And it is amazing the amount of storage they can create out of thin air, the amount of organizational skills they have, the things that they think about that you have never thought about. Look, here's the deal. If you want to get your house organized, whether it's a Murphy bed in the basement for the kids, the pantry, everybody loves a good pantry, right? What about the laundry room? Have you seen your laundry room recently? It's a little bit of a mess. Time to have a hanging section, a folding section. Do you need a sink? Do you not need a sink? What about extra storage? Does that mop really need to be in the middle of the room? Can we put that mop away? Look, St. Louis Closet Company has designs and colors and styles, but more importantly, they have the designers who, with a couple of clicks of the mouse, can change the colors and the design within seconds. It's amazing. St. Louis Closet Company, for all of your organizational needs, 30-plus years in the business. Jennifer Williams, great owner, great boss, great employer, gives back to the community. You want to keep it in the family. St. Louis Closet Company, 314-781-9000 or stlouisclosetco.com.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Lang. Join me for Animal Talk every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 on the Big 550 KTRS, the Animal Talk of St. Louis.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
All right, I love this next story. 650 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Okay, so you know my ongoing controversy with social media and the numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay, how they're fake, how they're bogus, how they're just made up. Skewed, right? Okay. There is a new book coming out by an engineer, a journalist, Jacob Silverman, has written a book called Gilded Rage, Elon Musk and the Radicalization of Silicon Valley. Okay? And the story in this book talks about a number of different things, including how Elon Musk, in the early days after he purchased Twitter, that he had 100 million followers. Okay?
Okay.
But when he would post things, he would only get tens of thousands of quote unquote impressions.
And what are
Okay.
legitimate
question.
Right,
what is an impression?
Thank you.
I don't know what I don't know what an impression is.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that it's the person who saw the post.
Yes,
I guess, right? So he or scrolled through it for a second.
No, less
than a second.
You have to. An impression is someone who has seen and actively looked
like
at
you
it.
click, it's the same as a click. Like you're clicking on it. That's an impression.
Because Twitter doesn't work that way. Because
proving my point how bogus this is.
Right.
Okay. So some 25-year-old's buying time and saying I'm going to buy on Twitter and I'm going to buy Elon Musk's page. Or I know you can't do it that way, but he all these 100 million people are oh my goodness, he's such an influencer, right? So he's in his office saying, hey, I got 100 million followers. How come only I'm getting 10,000 impressions?
And he's angry about that.
And he's angry about it,
because he bought it to get more.
Right. And the engineers, so the story goes on, and the engineer says, well, really, you're not that, you think you're popular on Twitter, but you're really not. And he got enraged because he really wasn't as popular as he thought he was on Twitter because he has 100 million followers. And so people buy Twitter because, oh, my goodness, he has 100. I'm going to use this influencer. He has 100 million followers. And 10 billion downloads. Meanwhile, I said, who cares how many downloads you have? You know how many downloaded podcasts I have on my phone that I've never listened to? Do you know how many people I follow on Twitter that I never see any of their posts? So it's bogus. Wow. And the world is being built on bogus numbers. And if social media is as toxic as we think it is and as detrimental to society as we all know it is, and yet everyone says, oh, it's the future. It's not. They're selling you lies. It's not true. The world isn't on social media. They're just not. And Elon Musk got a rude awakening after he spent $44 billion.
Well, you know,
he had
how
100
he
million.
fixed it.
He had 100 million followers, and only 10,000 people saw a post of his.
Well, he fixed it.
Well, yeah,
he had them fix it. So when you go to Twitter now or X, whatever the first thing you see is whatever he has just posted.
Right.
Basically, he's your homepage.
So they're forcing you. Right. Again, I never signed up for Elon Musk. Why do I keep seeing his posts?
He's the boss.
So they're pushing out whatever, right? They're pushing out this anti-Kirk agenda that's way more offensive than Jimmy Kimmel because they don't care for or against. They just want to create controversy.
It's his sandbox.
Right. So they push out negative stuff about Charlie Kirk so they can push out positive stuff about Charlie Kirk so you can get offended, so you can go scream and yell and rant and rave. It's bogus. It's utterly bogus. And again, billions of dollars in advertising is being spent on fake and phony numbers. And these 25-year-old media buyers who everyone's chasing around, who everyone thinks has the key, we need social influencers. It's just not true. It's all fake. And again, here's a great example of the guy who bought Twitter upset because he realized after he bought it, hey, wait a minute. All these 100 million people I have following me, they don't really see these 100 million people don't listen to every word I say. What? It's ridiculous.
Force them to do it.
And they're killing all of the journalistic standard outlets out there, the radio, the television, the newspapers, the liberals, the conservatives, right? Liberal organizations, conservative organizations, conservative newspapers and magazines, liberal magazines and newspapers, and it's all being destroyed by anarchists for no other reason than they can destroy it. And we're all lapping it up. It's ridiculous. But another example of those numbers being utterly and completely bogus. And then people come and say, oh, no one's listening to radio. Oh, what are your ratings like? Who cares? I have 100 million impressions. What does that? What does that mean? No one knows what any of that means.
Well, we just make up the ratings. If they're making up, let's be on the same page here, though. So when the next person asks, what are your ratings? What are your ratings, McGraw?
But so Elon Musk buys it.
Billion.
Elon Musk buys it and just changes the numbers, so now it looks like more people are watching him.
And right now,
KTRS or radio gives this third-party Arbitron millions and millions of dollars and says somebody has to listen for 3 minutes before you ever get a credit for it. Mm-hmm. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we punching ourselves in the face?
8,000 people are watching us right now on YouTube.
Minimum. Yeah, but 62 million impressions.
Yeah.
6:57 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw westbound 70 is still closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to Lumiere Casino, and accident reconstruction is on the scene. Side streets are also seeing slowdowns, including North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, an accident on northbound 55 at Butler Hill is blocking the 3 right lanes with the stop and go back up to 141. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, Captain Paul, weather-wise, carbon copy of yesterday, and that's what it's going to be all week long, all weekend long, really. High of 88 today, a couple clouds. 88 on Friday, upper 80s on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Not an icon of rain until Tuesday, and that is only a 50% chance of rain on Tuesday. Right now, it is, what do you got over there, Rosie?
The monitors say 63.
The TV screen, not the monitors, the TV screen. Yeah, those are TV screens, not monitors. The monitor in the studio tells us it's 63 degrees. At Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk Dents Express, because Gray Wilson, again, another great local business doing it right. Look, we've been hit this spring with some serious hail damage, and all summer long until we got into this dry spell. Scrapes, dings, dents, hail damage, whatever it is, still people are coming out of the woodwork and getting their car fixed at Dents Express. No worries when it comes to Dents Express. They have 2 locations, Manchester, on Manchester in Baldwin next to Gettekers, and, of course, Highway 94 in St. Charles. Look, they ask you to make an appointment because they're so busy. All you need to do, make an appointment, and then when the appointment comes, bring the car in. They'll work with the insurance company, and they'll fix it all, whether it's dent removal, hail damage, minor collision. Dents Express or Dents Express, STL.com. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
This is where St. Louis comes to talk.
What number do you want?
The Big 550.
KTRS.
St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. In Manchester, England, 2 people have been killed and 3 others are in serious condition after a man drove a car into a crowd outside a synagogue on this Yom Kippur. The driver also stabbing some in the crowd. Josh Aronson was inside the synagogue when it happened.
I mean, it's horrifying. It is horrifying. Unfortunately, in the last year, we've witnessed a whole load of terror and attacks against the Jewish people.
The gunman believed shot and killed by police, but they've not confirmed that yet because he is wearing suspicious items and a bomb squad has been summoned. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says extra security is now in place at other synagogues nationwide. The King and Queen say they were shocked and saddened to hear about the attack on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. The federal government is still shut down. Some workers have been deemed essential and are still reporting for work but not being paid. Some aren't working and aren't being paid either, says ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The White House is creating almost this third group. They're saying that of the furloughed employees, in the next 1 or 2 days, according to what Russ Vought, the head of the Office of Management and Budget, told congressional Republicans, they're going to start to fire some of those and try to make good on some of those additional DOGE cuts that we saw the administration begin to execute in the early months of the Trump administration.
2 Delta regional jets collided on the ground at New York's LaGuardia Airport last night. William Lusk was on board one of the planes coming in from Charlotte.
We were taking a right off of the main runway, and all of a sudden you feel the brakes go on, and you see this object coming across the left side of the plane, and you feel the front of the plane just kind of get dragged to the right, and you can physically feel like in your seat, you moving to the right.
One person was hurt. Hundreds of National Guard troops are now reporting for duty on the scene in Portland, Oregon. You're listening to ABC News.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
Altair Travel and Cruises is proud to sponsor KTRS Pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And they're partnering with one of their preferred suppliers, Alma Waterways. River cruising is a hot way to travel right now, and Altair and Alma Waterways are offering $100 off any new Alma Waterways river cruise bookings made through Altair October 1st through the 31st. Call Altair today to book your next river cruise at 314-968-9600 or online at altairtravel.com.
50 European leaders meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Brussels this week. One looming question:
what to do with the hundreds of billions of dollars of frozen Russian assets, which are mainly held in Belgium, has been a long-running and contentious issue here in Europe. Now, some European nations have been opposed to the seizure of those assets, fearing that that could spook some other foreign investors and create a dangerous precedent. But as the war drags on, Europe needs to find ways of funding Ukraine and its war effort against Russia.
That's ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge. President Trump's Commerce Secretary is now talking about a past encounter with Jeffrey Epstein.
Howard Lutnick telling a New York Post podcast he believes Epstein got a favorable deal back in 2008 when Epstein pleaded guilty to 2 state prostitution charges, granting him and any potential co-conspirators immunity from federal prosecution. Lutnick then making this claim.
And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Suggesting without evidence that Epstein may have traded compromising videos of high-profile associates in exchange for leniency.
ABC's Morgan Norwood. The Justice Department says there's no credible evidence of that. The death toll has risen to 72 following a strong earthquake in the central Philippines. 360 people were injured. Disaster officials say there have not been reports of many more people who are missing. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
65 degrees at 7:05. Here's what's happening now. An investigation is underway after a pedestrian was struck and killed along I-70 in North St. Louis. Police say this happened at around 5:30 this morning in the westbound lanes of I-70 near Carey Street. An overnight fire is to blame for destroying a home in South St. Louis. Firefighters were called to the burning home along East Marceau and Water Street early this morning. Fire officials say the residents were not home when the fire started. The cause of the fire is being investigated. Governor J.B. Pritzker has unveiled the largest infrastructure program in Illinois' history. Pritzker announced that $50 billion will be invested over 6 years to build and repair infrastructure in the state. The new program will be spread across all modes of transportation in every Illinois county. It includes $400 million to support 223 local projects, ranging from street and transit upgrades to bike and pedestrian improvements. Applications for Missouri's Public Safety Recruitment and Retention Act scholarship are now open. Established through Senate Bill 71, sponsored by Senator David Gregory and Representative Dave Hinman, the scholarship delivers tuition support for first responders and their families. The scholarship helps cover the cost of tuition for eligible public safety personnel and their dependent children pursuing a qualifying license, certification, or post-secondary degree from a Missouri public or independent college or university or a Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services accredited training provider. The scholarship application and supporting documents must be submitted to the Missouri Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development by November 5th to be considered for the 25-26 school year. This covers tuition and fees for the entire academic year, including the current fall semester. General Mills is set to close 3 Missouri plants. The company announced it shut down 2 facilities in Joplin and a food service facility in St. Charles as part of its restructuring plan. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Charlie, the Komodo dragon, has arrived at the St. Louis Zoo. The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
Charlie is the St. Louis Zoo's first Komodo dragon in more than a decade, and the 6-year-old becomes the first resident of the St. Louis Zoo's new Komodo dragon habitat at the Charles H. Hessel Herpetarium. Charlie currently measures 6 feet long and comes from the Bronx Zoo in New York. Komodo dragons are the largest species of lizard and can weigh up to 300 pounds and grow as long as 10 feet. In the wild, the endangered species is only found on 5 islands in Indonesia, and many never survive their first year due to habitat loss, poaching of deer, their primary food source, and the impacts of climate change. But under human care, they can live 20 to 30 years. Charlie the Komodo dragon will make his public debut on October 16th during Boo at the Zoo. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
65 degrees. Time now is 7:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right, we're going to check in with Jim Ryan up here in about 10 minutes. The common cold getting more common every day. Brad Garrett's going to join us and talk about what is going on with young white males. Why are they so angry, and why are they turning to violence time and time again? Why is that the stereotypical when you hear a story about a shooting or a incident that it's usually a white young male? Brad Garrett's got that story at 7:50. Frank Cusimano is going to talk a little sports next hour, and then we'll take phone calls and text messages in the 9 o'clock hour. This story, remember last week when the Francis Howell School District announced that they found some racially charged graffiti on the walls, and they were going to do an investigation? Yes. Well, according to the Post-Dispatch, the custodian admitted that he was the one who did it.
How'd they catch him?
Well, listen to this. According to the story, he faces felony charges for writing racially derogatory statements last week on bathroom walls and stalls in the school. Court records say Tyler Allen Carter, 25 years old, of St. Charles, was charged Wednesday. He was also facing property damage charges. Police, in a probable cause statement, say Carter's graffiti included racial slurs and violent statements towards the African-American community. He said that he admitted to the offenses, saying he was tired of cleaning graffiti left by students. Carter is white, said he told police that he targeted the African-American community because he believed the graffiti he had just cleaned up previously was left by black students. He also says that he's been bullied by African-American students when he was in high school, and he acknowledged that he holds a bias. Yeah, St. Charles police officer Brian Adelsberger said in the probable cause statement, the offenses committed do not appear to be an impulsive act, but a deliberate targeted actions motivated by racial bias. The statement also says that Carter was sexually explicit words in several foreign language classrooms and damaged custodial closets by pouring chemicals on items stored inside.
So basically he just snapped.
Yeah. Discovery of the racist graffiti spurred the president of the NAACP in St. Charles County to demand the Francis Howell District implant, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Bond was set at $50,000. He's being held in the St. County jail.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
Interesting, though. I mean, so he
was tired of cleaning up graffiti, so he made more.
Yeah, either I don't know how they caught him. I don't know if he was on camera or somebody saw him or whatever. Or they sort of figured out that the janitor only has access to the janitor closet, and so
who has keys to the
Let's
chemicals?
talk to the 4 janitors who are here, and let's see which one sort of cracks. So it wasn't that hard to sort of narrow it down.
Police work.
Yeah, so they found out that it was the janitor.
Man.
Yeah. That one's a tough one.
Be nice to janitors, people.
Well, yeah.
You know, funny you say that. The janitor from my high school died not too long ago.
Aw.
Joe. And it was like 6 months before that. I was like, hey, whatever happened to Joe? I wonder how. And then somebody popped up. Somebody in one of the high school connections was like, oh, yeah, Joe died. Nicest man in the world. Was always there with a smile and a conversation and a helpful hint and could not have been any nicer of a man. But yeah, no, be nice to a janitor. I mean, why would you be mean to a janitor? Why would you be mean to anybody? But you know, the guys working stiff are just like the rest of us. Why wouldn't you sort of be nice to him or her? But yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's a bad situation. Because it sounds like you just snapped, man. Because you know what, too? You get tired. You get tired of cleaning up. I mean,
you have sympathy for the hate crime guy?
Well,
I
hate, but I mean, I have sympathy for him. He said he's been bullied. I mean, it's not like he just made the. I mean, it'd be one thing if he just walked in. Like, this is a sad situation. He handled it poorly. He shouldn't have done what he did. But
no, I agree with you.
His excuses or his reasonings. In my opinion,
yeah, I don't think Rose is saying he should go back to his job.
No,
she's showing sympathy
and he
for a
should
sad
not
story.
have done what he did.
Right.
But also, he says himself he was bullied, and he's tired of cleaning up the same whatever.
He's clearly in the middle of a mental health episode.
Aww.
And so I'm not smart enough to know what it is, but clearly the man's hurting, and he needs some help. Hopefully he gets the help he needs. So that he can sort of correct his life and figure out his mistakes and sort of solve them and sort of move on and become a productive member of society.
Exactly. So jail time might not be the best for this
What's the
guy.
What's
Maybe
the
some
What's the goal? You know, vengeance. You want this guy to You want this guy to be locked away forever.
And then you're going to create make it even worse.
Yeah. I have empathy. It's just that we don't have a system that helps people like that anymore.
We have a system that helps people after they do it. We don't have a system that helps them before they do it.
Because he snapped. Like, that's the problem. It bubbles up and bubbles up. There's no help or no one. He doesn't know who to talk to, and then makes a poor decision, and this happens.
We're very good at fixing after they've done the terrible thing.
Yeah, but
right?
prevention.
The health care they get, the health care that Son of Sam got after he was captured was significant compared to the health coverage and health insurance he got before he killed all those people. So that's the sort of point we're all making, is if this guy was able to get some help beforehand.
Correct.
Easier said than done, but nonetheless. All right, 7:13 here, Big 550 KTRS. On a nicer note, closer to home, Miller Furniture and their 4 area locations. What do you need to know about Miller Furniture? They're coming up on 100 years. The family has been 100 years selling furniture, and they had that nice store in Belleville, Main Street, and they were going about their business, living their life, doing what they do, and then something funny happened to the furniture business. It started going overseas. And Miller Furniture started to see their business increase. So the next generation took over, and they opened up a office or a showroom in Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows and started to grow even more. Then they opened up another one in Ellisville on Manchester Road. It grew even more. They opened up a Fairview Heights location, and it grew even more. What's going on? The people are yearning for good quality furniture. They're tired of balsa wood and Allen wrenches coming back from China. When you shop Miller Furniture, you get American-made name brands, whether it's Amish. All throughout the Midwest, the Amish make beautiful, gorgeous furniture with old world craftsmanship. Stickley, the same way. Smith Brothers of Bern. These are couches and chairs and dining room tables that will last a lifetime. Miller Furniture always has great pricing, always has got free financing, and great customer service, delivery, pickup, move, you name it, they'll do it for you. Miller Furniture. Don't forget about mattresses, too. Miller Furniture, MUELLER, MillerFurniture.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, we are still following an accident downtown. Westbound 70 is closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to the Lumiere Casino, and an accident reconstruction team is on the scene. Side streets are also seeing slowdowns, including North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, an accident on northbound 55 at Butler Hill is blocking the 3 right lanes and causing a backup to Merrimack Bottom. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
from the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk. Local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The mild mornings but warm to hot afternoons will continue. A low of 62 in the morning Thursday. Some outlying areas into the 50s, but then partly cloudy and heating up quickly. A high of 88 degrees. Can't rule out a spot shower. Only a 10% chance late day and into the early evening Thursday. Most stay dry, and this is still mainly a dry pattern. Partly to mostly sunny Friday and hot again with a high of 88. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, you're not going to believe this. From the 314, do you know what today is? Today is National Custodians Day. Yeah. National Custodians Day, October 2nd, to acknowledge and to appreciate the essential work of custodians and their staff in keeping our schools, offices, and public spaces clean and sanitary. National Custodians Day, and we were just talking about the custodian who admitted to, oh my goodness, what a world. 7:18 here, Big 550 KTRS. Jim Ryan's going to join us in a couple minutes to talk about the common cold. Let's talk about Dr. Joe. Yesterday I saw Kevin Lloyd, and he came up to me and he looked at me in the face and he was like, wow, you've lost some weight. I was like, oh, is he saying I look fat in these jeans? Come on now. I said, yeah, thanks to Dr. Joe and the weight loss situation. So here's the deal. Would you like to lose some weight? I would. I'm in the middle. I'm with you. Right? Good days and bad days, fits and starts. Good times and bad times. But Dr. Joe has been there to help me out. Look, you want to reduce your food cravings, you want to boost your metabolism, once weekly injections. But like you, I'm sure you've got a million questions. So call Dr. Joe and sit down and have a conversation with him or one of his nurse practitioners. After you answer all the questions, the website's great, stlmedweightloss.com. Great, with a lot of questions and a lot of answers there. But you want to talk to a human, so have a meeting. Once you're approved, they'll send the medication right to your front door. And once weekly injections, and you're off and running. Numbers will start going in the right direction. You'll start to lose weight, and then somebody will come up to you and say, hey, are you losing some weight? And you'll put a little pep in your step and give you a little extra boost and a little extra confidence to keep doing what you're doing. Dr. Joe is an easy, simple, and streamlined way to get the medicine you need to start losing the weight. STLMedweightloss.com. STLMedweightloss.com.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation? Missy Mo. Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town. Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
As if we have nothing else to worry about, now we got to worry about the common cold. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas. Jim, what's going on with the common cold?
A lot of it. It's getting pretty common, considering that we're seeing some of the highest numbers in the last 2 or 3 years. Of course, they went way down during the COVID pandemic because everybody was staying home, kids were out of school, and they weren't spreading germs around, COVID germs, flu germs, or cold germs. And so now we're seeing kind of a bounce back. And yeah, that's what the CDC is saying, that about 1 in 3 of the tests done by doctors' offices finding a positive case of the cold.
Yeah, a lot of people think a common cold, as annoying as it is the flu. And people get sort of confused by, I have the flu. No, you don't. You don't have the flu. You have a common cold. But the common cold can kind of knock you out. Is this any worse than the past years of common colds?
In intensity, not really, no. And it's something that should go away in a couple, 3 days or so. And if it doesn't, maybe you want to check in with your doctor, because it could be something more serious. It could be the flu, or it could be COVID. The other thing, McGraw, right now, flu season traditionally starts on October 1st. That was yesterday. So there is some concern out there in the health community that we could see a double whammy this year, this increase in cold cases, and then suddenly a rise in flu cases as well. So best thing to do is to protect yourself. And if you don't feel well, for heaven's sake, stay home. Stay away from me.
Yeah. Well, when you have a little one in daycare, they bring home every common cold strand humanly possible. There is no cure, right? I mean, we just sort of treat the symptoms, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, you treat the fever and you treat the cough and the sore throat. There's really no getting to it. I mean, we've been studying this disease for over 100 years, and doctors still don't have a cure. The scientists have come up with all sorts of great stuff. Common cold is still common, though, and that's why, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing how they can find the vaccine for COVID, but not for the common cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of animal, though. I mean, it is a virus, but maybe because it's not as super serious as COVID, or something that's going to kill you automatically, then they haven't emphasized it as much. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Common cold. All right. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Thanks for checking in, as always.
See you, McGraw.
You got it. 723 here, Big 550 KTRS. When you got an infant going to daycare, or a little one going to daycare, man, there were some weeks where
You're gonna get it.
I was dying. I was just dying. You know, she bounced off her like Superman. It just went into my nose, and I was, she's like, oh, and the worst is when you start to feel it. You're like, uh-oh.
Here it comes.
I feel it. Here it comes. From the Country Club Car Wash text line. Saw your KTRS commercial last night on Channel 4 about 10:30. Something new? You all look great. Yeah, we've been airing those last couple weeks or so. Amish. Wow, McGraw. I live in Amish country in southern Illinois. Their horses... looks like you need the number 2 crew for their horses.
They do what horses do.
They drive their tractors to the store at all hours. None of their modes of transportations are licensed. They just have the orange triangle. They are just like the rest of us, no better and no worse. Did I say anything derogatory about someone's having a bad day? What are you upset at the Amish for?
Somebody got stuck behind a buggy.
I just said they had world-class craftsmanship. Sorry. Didn't mean. Remember we were talking about that mental health thing where we don't reach out for mental health reasons early enough? Give me a hug. Come here. Come here.
Did you even
Come
bring
here,
up the word? Did you even say the word Amish?
In the
Oh, I was like, where did that come from?
The Amish furniture makers. Yeah. Come here. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Come here. It's all right.
Dude, the number 2 crew, that's an interesting concept of going to like horse stables. Like, no, that's going to be some extra.
Give me a hug. Let it out. Just take in the good.
Yeah.
Exhale the bad. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. It's okay. It's okay. We're here. We're here for you. We're getting through it together, one step at a time. All good. 725 here. Big Fives.
What's going on today?
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you call a factory that makes okay products?
Okay.
A satisfactory.
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation. More people need to be aware of mental illness and treatments before something happens. The system is broken and the administration wants to try and fix it. Was voted out because of the price of eggs. Maybe this custodian was bullied because he was a racist in high school. No one thinks of white males when there's a shooting in the St. Louis region. No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying these sort of mass shootings, these random acts of violence. When Charlie Kirk was shot, I don't think a lot of people was it stereotypical to think that a white young male did it? Yes. Is that who ended up doing it? Looks like so. A lot of these school shootings, a lot of these mass shootings, a lot of these church shootings, they're usually younger, they're usually white, and they're usually male.
Has there been a female mass? And I mean this, no offense, but like a female, was there one that was like a transgender? But I mean like a.
Yeah, I don't know.
The one, Monster, the movie that Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah, I didn't see
that.
Well,
she's not serial killer. I mean,
she killed a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, but she. That's a whole different story, and I was so obsessed with that. Oh, Eileen Wuornos she was like the first woman, or not first, but a woman serial killer. She was a prostitute who killed a bunch of Johns in Florida. That's a whole other story, though, and that poor woman.
That's a whole other strand of mental health.
What I'm talking about, though, is school shootings. You know, like the ones in the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. I can't think of a male. I can't think of a female school shooter.
And honestly, it seems like the only black male was the one here at CVPA.
Oh, was he black?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I mean, otherwise, you're right. It's all. I mean, you're not just making it up. It's the fact. Like,
it's a stereotypical.
Young white males.
Yeah, no. Well, and this is why, like, racial profiling, in some instances, makes sense, right?
Well, right. This is what is happening. You have to adjust and adapt.
You're not looking for women,
right? If something happens and the police say who was it, and then somebody says I heard him say Allah Akbar, you're not going to start looking for
an Irishman.
Right? I mean, you're just not. You just
Seamus
not
O'Toole.
that an Irishman can't be Muslim.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It's just common sense, right? I mean, it's just common sense, and people get all upset with this. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to yell at you or get mad at you, but common sense. If you hear there's a school shooting, there's probably a pretty good chance that it's a younger white male, and that's just sort of that's the stereotypical person who does something like that. And to be even more offensive, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yeah,
but they're not always
because
true.
they're not always true. But
they're there for a reason. They're not just made up out of thin air. They have basis.
Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yes.
7:28 here, Big 550 KTRS. My goal this month is not to get fired.
I was waiting for that.
Same as last month. Not starting off very well. 7:29 here, Big 550.
Only the second.
Captain Paul Kopsky, save me. Take it away.
All right, the latest is a crash on northbound 270 at 64. It's causing a stop and go back up to Manchester. Westbound 70 still closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to the Lumiere Casino. Side streets are also seeing slowdowns, including North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, 2 accidents on northbound 55 approaching the 270 interchange are blocking the 3 right lanes with a backup to 141. This traffic report is brought to you by the City of Eureka and Eureka Days. There's fun for the whole family at Eureka Days this Friday through Sunday. Carnival rides, foods and crafts, a beer garden, a wing eating contest, kickball and cornhole tournaments, knocker ball, a kids corner, and a rock wall, and plenty of live music with a parade and fireworks. Visit eurekadays.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather-wise, hazy, hot, humid today, high of 88. Carbon copy of yesterday. 67 right now at 7:30. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Indonesian rescue authorities have made the tough decision to start using heavy machinery to move large sections of a school that collapsed earlier this week, with no more signs of life from beneath the rubble. Nearly 60 teenage students are still unaccounted for 3 days after the building caved in. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller on Wednesday rallied members of a federal law enforcement task force that has begun operating in Memphis as part of President Donald Trump's crime-fighting plan for the city. The officials met with Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, a Republican who has supported the project, before touring a staging area for the Memphis Safe Task Force and then speaking to a group of federal, state, and local law enforcement officers and Tennessee National Guard members. In local headlines, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page sent his proposed 2026 budget to the county council, focused on ensuring no more cuts are made to public safety, public health, and road work. Also in the budget, Page is asking the county council to place on the April 2026 ballot a proposed online sales tax that is already paid at local retail businesses, if this online sales tax is approved by voters. Governor Mike Kehoe has appointed Justin Ham as the Missouri Poet Laureate for 2025. The Poet Laureate program was established in Missouri in 2008 by the Missouri Arts Council. The goal is to foster an environment where the art of poetry can flourish in schools, communities, and cultural spaces. 66 degrees. Time now is 7:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right. It's the Country Club Car Wash text line. A lot of people texting in the Nashville shooter back in April, Audrey Hale. She was assigned female at birth, and social media links and she wanted to change her pronouns to he, him. So she was born female, transitioning to male, shooter. So one that wasn't a white young male, if you will. Say it's 7:32 here, Big 550 KTRS. Somebody else on the text line from the Country Club Car Wash text line texted in and said, "Your there, we'll figure it out," was oddly comforting for some reason. Okay, glad to help. Outdoor living, come on over. We'll sit out on the deck and have a little cocktail and talk about the world as we sit and enjoy the nice. The evenings are kind of nice. The days, the sun is brutal, but the nighttime, the weather turns kind of nice as the sun starts to go down. Hope you're enjoying your deck from Outdoor Living. Oh, you don't have a deck from Outdoor Living. Well, what are you waiting for? Look, Outdoor Living has been building decks and fences and pergolas and screened-in porches and roofs and over decks for, 30 years now. What are you waiting for? They do it right. And in this space, you can find someone to do it wrong, or you can find someone to do it right. Outdoor Living does it right. They use metal framing, which is great. Might cost just a little bit more, but that's all right. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stain it, or you don't have to worry about it rotting. You wrap it in composite decking, and you have yourself a beautiful deck that the neighbors will be envious of. Outdoor Living, 314-966-3325. Outdoor Living, and Pat Leahy, OutdoorLivingInc.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newssetter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery on the Hill. Our family runs a bakery and a retail store started by our parents, Pete and Grace Vitale, in 1976. Vitale's Bakery makes the finest Italian bread and pastries, including our mom's legendary Giugiulana seed cookies and her famous meat sauce.
And don't forget our pizza crust.
We also carry customers' favorites like lemon ice. Come taste our Italian heritage today at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi. Vitale's Bakery on the Hill, where you're not a customer, you're family.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline.
So I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Andy from Hats and Stuff. Well, 30 years ago this month, I started Hats and Stuff in the Del Mar Loop, and sadly, it's time to announce that I'm retiring at the end of this year and closing the Westport Plaza location. I do intend to continue operating at the Soulard Farmers Market on Saturdays going forward. I want to thank all of my thousands of customers who have supported Hats and Stuff in making it a very successful business venture for me and the many people who have worked for me over the past 30 years. We couldn't have done it without you. So, we're going to kick off the retirement sale by making all the St. Louis City SC ball caps, beanies, scarves, and more just $10 while they last, as well as all St. Louis Cardinal t-shirts, just $10. So come by the store and take advantage of these great deals. Located at Westport Plaza across from the Drunken Fish and the Kobe Steakhouse and the Soulard Farmers Market on Saturdays. Hats and Stuff. Good stuff at really great prices.
Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Who in the world is this? Is this Bad Bunny?
Yes. No.
Is it really?
This is the late George Michael.
Oh.
This was a #1 song in 1988.
Can you tell why he's playing these songs? Have you?
All
is
morning.
George Michael's birthday or something?
No.
Is it day he died?
No,
or
just say
something?
the name of the song then.
It's called Monkey.
Oh, because it's Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
All morning we've been playing monkey, chimp, and orangutan songs. And ape.
And Jane.
All right. Good to know. Everyone's talking about grocery prices. Axios, as a new survey, half the respondents in a new Axios survey say it's harder to afford groceries now than a year ago, versus 19% say it's easier, and 34% say it's the same. Here we go. The general public, harder to afford today than a year ago. General public, 47%. Democrats say it's 50% harder today than it was a year ago. Independents say it's 54% harder today than it was a year ago. Republicans say it's 34% harder today than it was 4 years ago. It's not all. It's not all. I mean, if you're a vegetarian, beef prices really don't affect you. If you take your electric car to work, gas prices don't affect you, right? If you don't eat eggs, even though egg prices are down, right? So I mean, it's not all inflation affects us the same.
Sure.
Right.
I'm not buying a house right now, so
right, exactly.
House prices mean nothing.
Right, exactly. And the fact that your house is worth $100,000 more today than it was 5 years ago, well, that doesn't really do you any good.
If you're not selling it.
Right, you're not tapping into it, so it's just sort of great. Okay, fine. But anyway, so that's the rub. Did you see where Jimmy Kimmel was on with Stephen Colbert the other night?
I was flipping back and forth between them.
And they asked, Jimmy Kimmel was telling Stephen Colbert about when he came home after he was fired or suspended indefinitely. Jimmy Kimmel's kids, right? They were in the kitchen and they were all worried, and the girl came up to her dad and said, "I can sell my Labubus if we need to." I got the joke because only recently have we learned what Labubus are. So there you go.
So Colbert was on with Kimmel, because Kimmel's broadcasting out of Brooklyn right now, and Kimmel was on Colbert at the same time. So Colbert did his show an hour earlier, so they both could be on each other's shows.
But Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel did it from Brooklyn, right? He went home or something?
Yes.
Or okay.
So they both were. So at the same time, they both waved to each other on each other's shows, which were live. One was on ABC, one was on CBS.
All right.
It was kind of smart.
All right, there you go. Labor force participation of women with bachelor's degrees. Okay? Women in the workforce with bachelor degrees. More women are leaving the workforce. Why? Pushed out by lack of child care support and stricter return to office policies.
But I thought they weren't having babies.
The departure states it's after the pandemic era support for child care lapse in 2023. Now they seem to be accelerating due to weakening job market and job cuts and policies. College-educated mothers with very young children are seeing the biggest declines in the workforce. Fathers with very young children actually saw slight increases in the labor workforce. Woman stays home, dad's got to go back to work, something along those lines. Women in the workforce still higher than pre-pandemic levels, but they're starting to see women who are children leave and say, if you're going to force me to go back to work in the office and you take away whatever child care subsidies or help you gave me, I don't need it. I'd rather stay home. Again, AI can't fix the child care problem. It's they Chat GPT. How do I solve my child care problem? It's it ain't going to solve the problem. It ain't going to solve the world's problems. The world's problem revolves around two things: childcare and parking. That's it.
Parking.
If you can solve the childcare problem and the parking problem, you will have solved all of America's problems. It's parking. It's all about parking. The world, you drive around. People drive around forever.
It's because you keep parking in the
It's the golf carts.
military or the expected mother spots.
The golf carts have to park on the sidewalk.
Right, the golf carts.
What are you supposed to do with the world? 7:43 here, Big 550 KTR. Speaking of the Rogers parking lot, Highway 40 in the morning and in the afternoon. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. How are the roads?
Well, McGraw, a crash on northbound 270 at 64 is causing a stop and go back up to Doherty Ferry. Westbound 70 is closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper now back to Memorial Drive, and an accident reconstruction team is on the scene. Side streets also seeing slowdowns, including North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, the aftermath of two accidents on northbound 55 approaching 270, the interchange there, that's still blocking the right lane with a backup to 141. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
It's early October, but with a summer feel out there. High temperatures 10 to 15 degrees warmer than normal right on through the weekend. 88 and partly cloudy this afternoon. Now, most of us will stay dry, but we will watch for an isolated shower or two to pop up this afternoon into this evening. That would be a welcome sight. Mild lows then in the low to mid 60s early Friday, and then we pop right back up to 88 again tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk about Michael's Baths, because if you are looking to redo your bathroom, look no further than Michael's Baths, because he can do it a la carte. He can do the whole thing, and he can do it cheaper, less expensive, with quality materials, and do it 30 to 50% less expensive than everybody else in town. The nanny fell in love with Michael's Baths. The neighbor I have fell in love with Michael's Baths. And if you need more of an incentive, they'll give you a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel at Michael's Baths. What are you waiting for? Look, if you're a veteran, they have all sorts of grants and programs to help veterans. Oftentimes are left unused because the veteran doesn't really know about them or knows how to redeem them. Michael's Baths helps veterans with grants that will pay for most, if not all, of the price of their bathroom project. So if you are a veteran, good to call Michael's Baths and see what's out there for you. 636-775-0800. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com. For 30-plus years, they've been doing it, and they've been doing it right. Not a franchise, locally owned, locally operated, right there on the front lines every single day. michaelsbaths.com.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors. And better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Hi, it's David Sherwood of the Inside Out Show and president of Sherwood's Forest on Barrett Station Road, just south of Manchester. Fall planting season is here now. We are fully stocked with the area's largest selection of evergreens, Japanese maples, magnolias, and shade trees. Choose from lilac trees, sugar maples, birch, October glory, hornbeams, and crab to provide summertime shade and great fall and spring color. At Sherwood's Forest, you'll also find hundreds of green giant arborvitae and junipers to screen thy neighbor.
And right now, get 5 mums for $40.
Sherwood's Forest has been planting smiles for over 45 years, so head to the forest, Sherwood's Forest at 2651 Barrett Station Road, or check out our inventory at sherwoods-forest.com or call 314-966-0028.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
750 here, Big 550, KTRS. Brad Garrett joins us. Brad Garrett is an ABC crime and terrorism analyst, sits in Washington, D.C. Brad, you've been coming on the show for years talking about this stuff, but the last couple of months, some interesting articles about young white males, and while there are certain types of crime committed by certain types of individuals or racists, or races, I should say, in this instance, the mass shootings, this sort of random acts of violence where someone goes in and shoots up a church or a school or a fast food restaurant or a concert, mostly, stereotypically, are young, white, and male. What's going on?
So, the folks, McGraw, that study this stuff will tell you that for whatever reason, they don't know the answer to this, but I can guess what the answer is, that males are much more vulnerable to being or spending an excessive amount of time online and also on their phones. Now, it may simply be that if they end up, and have to be really cautious with this, is that just because your kid plays excessive video games and is excessively online, it may cause them behavioral issues, depression, anxiety, etc. Maybe, but they don't end up harming anybody. But it's the small subset of people that you just described that obviously are the real problem. So as a result, we have a lot of difficulty in trying to sort of counter this excessive use online, because it clearly becomes toxic for some kids, and it becomes a reality. In other words, their online presence is their reality, not on the sport they play or the band they're in or whatever it might be. It's all this isolated stuff that they end up getting channeled into some really negative, toxic, violent thinking. And that's what drives a small subset of them, along with other variables, to commit these horrible acts.
So it's not just the extreme where they take a gun, they end up shooting innocent people at a church on a Sunday in Michigan. But we're seeing that young males, they're not going to college in the numbers they used to, right? Women are outpacing them in colleges, in test scores, in social activities, in all of the metrics. There seems to be and some have called it an epidemic when it comes to white young males. And so it's showing up not just in random shootings, but in other parts of society.
There is no doubt. And there are even phrases like what they call lost boys, that there are generations of boys that they're concerned about that are fallen into what you just described. And if you think about that, if you spend hours online, hours on your phone, that you now have not gotten socialized in how to deal with people. I mean, you sort of lose your ability to where we have to, you and I grew up, you confronted people day in and day out, in a good way, in a bad way, but you learn from it because they're right in front of you. And, interactions with people also help us balance ourselves. Like, oh, I can't do this. This person's right here. They've got another perspective on this. Maybe I can listen to that. And, it makes you a better person. And more importantly, to your point, it makes you a more high functioning adult, of which some of these kids are just not going to be that. They're just gone. They're just lost in this cyber world.
There was an interesting article, I think it was the New York Times, might have been the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks ago, and it talked about this very issue, about how, and it took a hard look at society and whether it was like the Boy Scouts have been sort of marginalized quite a bit. Men's groups have been marginalized, right? Women have infiltrated other groups, and they were saying that, men don't have men things anymore, if that makes any sense, right? They've been sort of marginalized, and so the guys in the locker room, or that sort of buddy system or whatever, that has sort of fallen by the wayside, and what's taken its place is either mixed sex events and or online gaming is the only place where they can find that sort of male bonding.
Yeah, that's right. And, I guess it's our job as parents to push them out of that. Now, that can take time, that can take energy. The utter resistance that you get from kids trying to take or limit cell phone and or online presence is just an unbelievable. It can be a part-time job for a parent trying to do that, because the peer pressure around them. I mean, if you have a 15-year-old and he or she goes to school and you take their phone for, legitimate reasons, the other 29 kids in their class have their phones.
Yeah.
And so there's that sort of, and parents would complain that their kids don't have their phones, let's say in school, which a lot of social psychologists say there shouldn't be any phones in school. The resistance would be maybe off the charts. So it's not an easy task, but we have to do a better job of getting these kids off of computers and out into the world.
It's also showing up with women too, right? Young women, teenage women, but also 20s and 30s who are saying there just aren't enough men out there to date. They're just not interested in dating, or they're just sort of not dating material because they don't really have a job and they don't have any future going. And so where a lot of women are asking, where have all the men gone?
Yeah. And to your point, they are online. It's hard to come up with the numbers, but this complaint you just mentioned by women, I've heard in person from other women who are single. I don't know, once they get to be a certain age, if you're now like 23, you don't live at home maybe, or if you do, you independently live in the basement or whatever it might be. Trying to get them to turn it around is an unbelievable task, because I will tell you, online behavior, hour after hour, you become addicted to it. And then you also become addicted to the dopamine hits you get playing violent video games. That's why they keep playing them. Trying to pull that away is really a daunting task.
Brad Garrett, ABC News, Crime and Terrorism Analyst. Thanks for shedding some light. It's a sad topic, one that's not going to go away. Brad, have a good day. Thanks.
Thanks, see you, McGraw.
7:57 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. A crash on northbound 270 at 64 is causing a stop and go back up all the way to Gravois. Westbound 70 is still closed between Grand and Adelaide due to a fatal accident. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to Broadway and Cass. Side streets also seeing slowdowns, including North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. An accident on northbound 55 approaching the 270 interchange has been moved to the shoulder. And this traffic report is brought to you by the Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather for the next couple of days, upper 80s, no rain in the forecast. A couple of tears from me lamenting the fact that it's not raining. We need it bad. 88 the high today, overnight tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, again, carbon copy the next couple of days. 88 the high on Friday, and then upper 80s on Saturday and Sunday. We won't hit 70s until Tuesday. Monday, high of 85. That's what it looks like now on the monitors in the studio. It is 68 degrees here, coming up 8 o'clock, Big 550 KTRS. Frank Cusimano is going to join us next hour. Talk about a little baseball. Blues hockey's getting ready to start here pretty soon. Maybe a little Mizzou football. They got a week off. They took care of business, so we'll check in with Frank Cusimano, see what's going on in his world. All of that straight ahead. Then in the 9 o'clock hour, you want to stick around. Boy, do I have a story about the last government shutdown. 8 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From
Health
ABC
insurance can
News.
feel complicated, but
Sherry Preston.
This has happened on our doorstep, and I just feel like you wouldn't expect it to happen,
A witness to the deadly attack outside a synagogue in Manchester, England on this Yom Kippur. ABC's Lama Hassan at the foreign desk.
Witnesses say a man driving a car ramming into members of the public before attacking with a knife. Police declaring a major incident, a firearms police officer shooting who police believe is the suspect. Paramedics are on the scene helping the wounded. Manchester's mayor saying the immediate danger appears to be over, but also warning members of the public to avoid the area.
2 people killed, 3 others seriously hurt. The gunman is believed to have been shot and killed by police. Day 2 of the federal government shutdown. ABC's Rachel Scott says Democrats and Republicans have been unable to decide on a bill to keep it open.
Caught in the middle of the stalemate, millions of federal workers, 750,000 furloughed.
Mark Cochran works for the National Park Service in Newburgh, Pennsylvania, and leads the local AFGE union. His daughter just started college.
Now we have to try and figure out how we're going to, continue affording that while this is going on for who knows how long.
The Israeli Navy has boarded most of the vessels in a flotilla attempting to break Israel's blockade on Gaza, detaining dozens on board, including activist Greta Thunberg. Two Delta regional jets colliding at New York's LaGuardia Airport last night. This is what it sounded like in the air traffic control tower.
Oh, and you guys did clip, correct? Yeah, we did. Their right wing clipped our nose in the cockpit. We have damage to our windscreen.
That's from ATC.net. There actually was one person hurt, a flight attendant. Could be Warren Buffett's last big acquisition before he steps down as CEO as Berkshire Hathaway, and it happened today. This is ABC News.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
Football is back, which means Dogtown is back. Dogtown Pizza, that is. And with 12 games on Mizzou's upcoming football schedule, you can have a different pizza every game. Kick off the season with a bacon, have a hot chicken on homecoming, and save that pepperoni peppercini, my favorite, for Arkansas. It's football season, and nothing goes better with the pigskin than a hot Dogtown Pizza. Let's cheer on those Missouri Tigers. M-I-Z... D-O-G, Dogtown Pizza, and dogtownpizza.com.
Pope Leo wading into American politics.
Pope Leo and the White House engaging in a thinly veiled battle over what it means to be pro-life. Leo, in rare political comments, bringing up the issues of abortion and the death penalty.
Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life.
The Pope made the comments after he was asked about a Chicago Cardinal awarding Illinois Senator Dick Durbin a Lifetime Achievement Award, even though Durbin is a defender of abortion rights, something the church opposes.
ABC's Victor Okendo. Texas death row inmate Robert Roberson, whose case attracted international attention last year over shaken baby syndrome, is now scheduled to be put to death 2 weeks from today.
Robert Roberson was convicted of killing his 2-year-old daughter in 2003 by violently shaking her. His lawyers argued that the toddler had been ill her entire life, that her injuries could have come from any number of sources. With a new execution date looming, attorney Brad Scalise says,
if we kill this man in the face of this medical evidence, it'll be a stain on our state that will never go away.
Scalise has asked the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to halt his client's execution. Prosecutors maintain that the case against Robertson was sound. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
More worries about jobs. Payroll company ADP now says the country's private employers trimmed 32,000 jobs last month. Economists had expected the report to show job growth. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at overstockoutletauctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
.66 degrees at 8:05. Here's what's happening now. Police have released the name of the St. Charles teenager allegedly murdered by his mother. The victim has been identified as 16-year-old Carter Bennett. Police say his mother, 47-year-old Krista Roy, admitted to shooting and stabbing her son at the family's home along the 3200 block of Lightfoot over the weekend. Roy was hospitalized for a suicide attempt when detectives interviewed her on Monday. Roy has been charged with first-degree murder. Police say foul play is not suspected after a body was found in the lake at January Wabash Park in Ferguson. The victim has been identified as 39-year-old Joseph Miles of Overland. Police say the discovery was made Tuesday night. First responders worked to retrieve the body but were unsuccessful. First responders returned yesterday morning and successfully removed the victim from the water. A cause of death is pending autopsy results. The City of Columbia and University of Missouri have unveiled plans to fight crime. The action comes following the shooting death of a Stevens College student in downtown Columbia last weekend. The plans include increasing police staffing, more officers on patrol in the downtown area during weekends, and meeting with the governor to discuss state resources and other programs to improve safety. President Trump claims a new website is among the ways he will save Americans money on their prescriptions. It's called Trump RX, a direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical website. More from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
When it launches, Trump RX will allow people to buy drugs directly from manufacturers, including Pfizer, who says many of its treatments will be offered at discounts that average 50% through the platform. The website will not sell or distribute medicines. Instead, consumers will be able to search for their current medications and will be redirected to the manufacturer's direct-to-consumer channels. Trump RX is expected to go live sometime in 2026. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
The Illinois Housing Development Authority has awarded $2 million to Habitat for Humanity to expand home ownership opportunities. The funding is administered to the Community Impact Fund, a program that helps working families, especially in central and southern Illinois, buy a home. The program is expected to create 100 new homeowners across Illinois. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 66 degrees. Time now is 8:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right. What do we got going on here? Let's do, coming up, we're going to check in with Frank Cusimano. He is going to join us at 8:35. And then at 8:50, this wonderful story of these speech pathology doctors are trying to create an initiative to put on driver's license a moniker, a notation, demarcation, if you will, alert to first responders that says that they have trouble talking and they have trouble communicating. And so they have these things for, trouble seeing, right, glasses or hearing and things like that. Well, if you come across an accident and the person doesn't talk very well, it's not a bad idea to sort of communicate that to the first responder. Why it's not on there to begin with, who knows? But they reached out to me and I said, yeah, let's get it on. That's really kind of interesting. And so they're going to come talk about it coming up this hour here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Tell the government shutdown story.
Oh, you want me to do it now?
Oh, you were going to do it. You already had a plan.
I was going to do it. I was going to tease it and use it in the 9 o'clock hour.
Oh, never mind then.
But in 2020, I'll tease it. I'll tease it. In 2023, do I have enough time to tease it? In 2023, Kevin McCarthy was Speaker of the House.
Republicans did not care for him.
No. And he offered a clean CR, continuing resolution, that would continue to fund the government at current levels, and it passed with Democratic support. 2 years later, Mike Johnson proposes a clean CR, continuing funding at current levels, and the Republicans are beyond offended by it. Okay, so 2 years ago, Biden's in office. They're all for Kevin McCarthy passing a clean CR. 2 years later, Mike Johnson's in office. President Trump's in office. Democrats, oh, my goodness, no, you can't have a clean CR. 2 years ago, Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, offers a clean CR. Republicans kick him out of office for offering a clean CR because they were demanding budget cuts, massive budget cuts. So 2 years ago, Kevin McCarthy introduces the same exact thing as Mike Johnson does, Speaker of the House. Democrats vote with McCarthy. Republicans kick him out for it. 2 years later, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, offers the same exact thing. Democrats are apoplectic. Republicans are cheering him on, saying, yeah, we don't hold negotiations hostage. Just pass a clean CR. Well, your guy wanted to pass a clean CR 2 years ago, and you threw him out of the office. So they're all frauds. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
The moral of the story is they're all frauds. I mean, the guy 2 years ago proposed the same thing as the guy did today. Republicans threw him out of office. First time ever, they used a motion to vacate vote to kick Kevin McCarthy out of the speakership because he proposed a clean CR with Democrats' help. Mike Johnson, 2 years later, proposes the same exact thing. Democrats don't want to vote for it. Republicans all about it. So, I mean, give me a break. It's and these people are, oh, my goodness, the Republicans, blame the Republicans, blame the Democrats. Oh, my goodness. You're all frauds. You're all frauds. You're all frauds. And nobody remembers this. Nobody remembers 2 years ago, Kevin McCarthy did the same exact thing. And the exact opposite response. Democrats voted for the clean CR 2 years ago because it was Biden. Now they can't do it because it's Trump. Republicans couldn't handle it because it was Biden. Now they love it because it's Trump. It's the same bill.
It's like grade school.
It's the same thing. So that was my story in the 9 o'clock hour. I'll revisit it in the 9 o'clock hour.
Because people will forget by the time it's 9 o'clock. And then you tell it again.
2 years ago, and people forget what happened Monday.
That's what I'm saying. So they'll forget what you just talked about now.
Nobody remembers how Kevin McCarthy was ousted 2 years ago. But it's the same exact bill, which I think was Donald Trump's greatest line of all time. During the first term, he was speaking at the Al Smith, was it the Al Smith dinner? And he gets up there and he says, "I'll tell you that the media they're so biased against me and my family." And he says, "I can prove it." He says, 4 years ago, Michelle Obama gave a speech at the Democratic convention, and it was praised, and it was cherished, and it was lionized, and just heaps of praise on Michelle Obama for this wonderful speech she gave at the convention. He then says, Melania gives the same exact speech at the Republican convention. Same words, and she gets criticized for it. I was like, that's the funniest line I've ever heard. That is the funniest line. To take the fact that Melania Trump basically took Michelle Obama's speech and gave the same exact speech at the convention, and then they turned it into a joke, that is hilarious. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. But, I mean, so she takes the speech, plagiarizes it, says the same speech, and then is criticized for it. It shows you one person gives the speech, is praised for it. The other person gives the same exact speech, criticized for it. Shows you how liberal the media is. 8:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw westbound 70 is still closed between Adelaide and Cary due to a fatal accident that was reported at 5:45 this morning. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 west onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to Broadway and Cass. Side streets are also seeing slowdowns, and that includes North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, northbound 270 is congested from Tesson Ferry to 64. Eastbound 64 crowded from McKnight to Big Bend. And westbound 64 is busy in front of Forest Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The mild mornings but warm to hot afternoons will continue. A low of 62 in the morning Thursday. Some outlying areas into the 50s, but then partly cloudy and heating up quickly. A high of 88 degrees. Can't rule out a spot shower. Only a 10% chance late day and into the early evening Thursday. Most stay dry, and this is still mainly a dry pattern. Partly to mostly sunny Friday and hot again with a high of 88. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, let's talk John Beale Roofing because it's still a lot of issues with the roof and the siding and still cleaning up from all those storms in the spring. You still go outside. I do anyway. Go outside, and our area got hit pretty bad. But you go outside in the late afternoon, you're still hearing the nail guns going off. So people still fixing the roofs. And so if you haven't gotten around to it yet, don't forget about John Beale. Roofing, siding, and gutters. It's all about storm damage. Yes, the storm does damage to the roofing. It also does damage to the siding and the gutters. And oftentimes it's really hard to see. You got to know what you're looking for, because if you just sort of give it a quick glance, you're not going to see the damage, and then that's really bad, right? Because it's damaged, but you don't see it, and all of a sudden it gets worse, and then by then it's too late. Call John Beale. They'll work with the insurance company to make sure you get the claim you deserve to get it fixed right. I tell you what, going through this process myself, John Beale was great. I've used them 20-plus years now. Residential, commercial, industrial, proud sponsor of the Big 550 KTRS. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, or johnbealeroofing.com.
St. Louis is home to one of the last true Little Italies in America, the Hill neighborhood. Anchored by St. Ambrose, the Hill has been home to generations upon generations of Italian families. Known for its fine Italian cuisine, the Hill has also produced incredible athletes like Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola, and many of the players on America's 1950 World Cup soccer team that defeated England, which helped germinate St. Louis's rich soccer heritage.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery. My family's been baking delicious bread and pastries for local restaurants dating back to my grandfather in 1945. We've been a family-run business for 4 generations. My sister and my nephew Bobby are carrying on the family tradition. We're proud of our Italian heritage, and we're proud to continue our parents' legacy. Vitale's Bakery is at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi on the Hill.
Celebrate Italian Heritage Day on Sunday, October 12th on the Hill with the annual Italian Heritage Day Parade at 12:30, followed by the Italian Festa at Barrett Park.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Mama's on the Hill is the legendary birthplace of the Toasted Rav, and Mama's is the premier family restaurant on the Hill. Make a reservation online at mamasonthehill.com.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
You might know Graber for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialists who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that.
Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
$8:21 here, Big 550 KTRS. We were talking about this earlier. There's a book coming out about Elon Musk buying Twitter, and one of the stories in the book is about how he had 100 million likes or 100 million followers, but only a couple of thousand impressions, and he was confused as to why more people weren't seeing his posts, and they told him, just because you have 100 million followers doesn't mean 100 million people watch all of your posts, in which I have been in meetings where advertisers say, well, they have 50,000 followers. And I say, that doesn't mean anything. And they look at me like I'm crazy. What are you talking about? He's got 50,000 followers. How many followers do you have? I'm like, I don't know. It's all bogus. It's all lame. It's fake. It's made up. So we were talking about this earlier. Post-Dispatch, STLtoday.com has, how they have articles and they have paid content and, advertisements in the deal. So, infotainment. But this one I think was just an actual commercial, an actual link to a commercial. And I clicked on it, and the headline is really all it says. Popular sites to buy real TikTok likes in 2025.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Best sites to buy TikTok likes. Media Mister and get a follower. Media Mister's the best place to buy TikTok likes because they offer real likes with country targeting, gradual delivery, 60-day retention warranty, and a money-back guarantee supported by live chat and secure checkout. Listen to this. Media Mister is great. It's great if you like real TikTok likes, focus on real accounts, and a simple setup. You choose the like type first. You can buy TikTok video likes, live stream likes, comment likes, and story likes. So you can match support to your content format and then pick a package style for lives, including regular or live battle, which helps you streamers handle spikes. You can get country options like USA, UK, Italy, Turkey, and more, plus broad choices such as worldwide men, worldwide women, or you can give precise audience control. 500 TikTok likes, $20. Delivery in about 4 to 6 days. If you'd like 2,500 likes on your TikTok influencer.
Delivery in 4 to 6 days. Why does it take that long to click?
Well, have you seen?
Well, because if it goes too fast, then the machines might suspect something. So,
but this is out in the open, right? This isn't. They're not trying to hide the fact that
it's a real deal. Yeah, but AI doesn't know it's fake.
Well, but I mean, media buyers or these people or advertisers are they are totally okay with knowing that the person that they
it's like we're zombies. We're like TikTok likes. Oh, he's got TikTok likes. Oh, he's got followers. It's all fake. This is what I've been telling you for years.
Have you seen the videos of these places? They're
like click machines, click factories.
Yes, I saw one. It was in India, and it was a room full of about 100 people, and they're all on computer monitors, and they're all typing in, making up fake profiles.
Yeah.
So they look legitimate, and that's like one of the biggest insults online is like, you buy your followers.
Well, they all do.
They all, I mean.
By the way, for 2,500 likes, it's $97. If you want 10,000 likes, it only costs you $375.
How do you quantify that? How do you know what I mean? How do you?
Well, you have really smart people saying, radio, TV, newspaper, no. TikTok, yes. Future of TikTok. And you're like, you've got to be kidding me. You're buying TikTok because it's what? What are you buying? You're buying a click farm in India. By the way, why users like it? 60-day retention guarantee. So they'll make sure if Facebook or Twitter or TikTok says, this might be fake, let's purge your account, they'll make sure.
So they'll
make sure more fake accounts come by.
There's interaction, so like they will comment to make sure that like it's not a bot.
Yeah, 100% money back guarantee. What buyers are saying? Here are some of the reviews from Media Mister. I decided to try Media Mister's buy TikTok like service, and I was really impressed. The likes I received were real, and it made a noticeable difference in my profile's credibility. My engagement levels went way up, and I noticed more people interacting with my content. Highly recommended, Libby Gallagher.
Wait, what do you mean the likes are real? I mean, like, why is she saying, like, you literally paid somebody to click on your site 11 billion times?
It's still
I guess it's still a real like, right?
Semantics.
This isn't. I don't understand any of this.
This is the world. People are buying and influencing, really and oh my goodness, did you see the likes of this person, this influencer? It's fake. So now you see a fake account with a whole lot of things, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that actually has a lot. Boy, did you see they're going crazy online because they said this? No, they're not. Some click farm in India went crazy. Somebody bought these likes, and all of a sudden this insane comment now got 10,000 likes from some click farm, and all of a sudden now it's a real thing. So now the rest of us are like, what's this idiot saying? So we start clicking on it, and then it feeds on itself. So you buy interest in your post, hoping that it generates enough interest in that it sort of catches on. But it's not, none of it's
but
organic.
The advertisers are the
fake.
ones that are feeding into this, going
Yes.
like, we're going to sell or give you this influencer, we're going to give you this free product because you got 11 billion likes. And
Yes.
it's like, why is that their
There
measure?
is an advertiser. I will not mention their name, but they're on the station, and when they first came on the station, they were like this. We use a total social influencer people with this, but for whatever reason they did it. And the first week they were on the show, they called me up and they were like, "You should be an influencer." And I was like, "Well, I kind of." I guess I'm a talk show host. I
calling myself an
I don't know what
influencer.
to. Oh my goodness! Did you know that you could make this and you could do this? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, we pay this and we don't get it. I'm like, what are you paying for? Oh, these influencers. I was like, you've got to be kidding me! It's a whole like marketing subculture of agents for influencers who are running around knocking on company doors. I have an influencer to offer you this and this, and I was like, it's all bogus.
But everybody's buying into it. That's the problem. Like, there's not one, like the advertisers and the influencers. So they're both feeding into this ridiculousness, and they're just perpetuating.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What's the solution? Or there need to be a solution.
Social media doesn't work. Social media is toxic.
Meanwhile, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube right now.
And there's and I've got 72,000 impressions in the last 10 minutes. Buy your TikTok likes right here. 10,000 likes, $375. It's a deal. 8:29 here, Big 550, KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, it looks like westbound 70 is still closed between Adelaide and Cary due to a fatal accident that was reported at 5:45 a.m. Traffic is being diverted off of 70 West onto North Broadway. It's bumper to bumper back to Broadway and Cass, and the side streets are also seeing some slowdowns. That includes North Broadway, Cass, St. Louis Avenue, Salisbury, and Florissant. Elsewhere, northbound 270 is congested from Tesson Ferry up to 64. Eastbound 64 is crowded from McKnight to Big Bend. And westbound 64 is busy in front of Forest Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Meanwhile, you talk to any gatekeeper, somebody who's a record company executive, a publisher, a TV executive, and they read a manuscript and they say, how many followers does the author have? Bands, how many followers do they have on TikTok? Maybe we'll sign them. So they're all based on how much social media activity you have. But to get social activity media, you just buy. Oh no, they're really popular. They've got thousands and thousands of likes on their TikTok videos. that they just purchased. And so the gatekeepers are like, oh, here's a wonderful book. Well, what's his social media influence? He doesn't have any. Oh, well, we're not buying that book because or we're not going to sign that band, or we're not going to hire that talk show host, or we're not going to do whatever because he doesn't have a social media presence, because he doesn't have a lot of likes.
Right. They're big part of the problem.
Yes, that's exactly right. And these social media companies are walking around like they're the savior. They're destroying everything.
Uh-huh.
All on a bunch of lies. 8:31. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Police have reported that 2 people were killed and 3 others were seriously injured in a synagogue attack in northern England. Greater Manchester police believe the suspect is also dead. The incident occurred yesterday on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Officials say 2 Delta Airlines regional jets collided on the taxiway at LaGuardia Airport in New York, injuring a flight attendant. A statement from Delta described it as a low-speed collision. A wing of an aircraft preparing for takeoff to Roanoke, Virginia, Wednesday night hit the fuselage of an aircraft arriving from Charlotte, North Carolina. In local headlines, the full St. Louis Board of Aldermen are expected to vote tomorrow on a resolution that would establish a stricter review process for new data center projects. An aldermanic committee approved the resolution yesterday with a vote of 5-1. And the government shutdown is affecting the Gateway Arch. Visitors are allowed to walk the arch grounds, but the doors to the National Monument are closed and tram rides are suspended. 67 degrees. Time now is 8:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Yesterday we were having this conversation in a meeting about Innsbruck, and 30 years ago, Innsbruck was out there. Now, Innsbruck, you can go out to Innsbruck for lunch, but it's not where it is, it's what it is. Innsbruck is a community, if you will, a town, actually. It's a town. They incorporated it. It's its own town. And it's got about 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, restaurants, and an 18-hole championship golf course, nature trails, event spaces. It's a great place for weddings and rehearsal dinners, a great place for business retreats, weekend getaways. They've got rentals. You can rent for the weekend or rent for the week. It's a great place for the family to go and get together. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Innsbruck. And Innsbruck is so very close to everything, and yet when you're there, you feel so far away. It's just south of Wright City on Highway 70. You can take Highway 70 there, or you can take the sort of back way through St. Charles. That's a fun little drive as well. But Innsbruck is where you go to get away. And the memories, talk to anybody who has a house out there, talk to anybody who spent some time out there. The stress falls away, whether you've rented a A-frame or you own an A-frame. Innsbruck is a place to get away. They have cottages, and they got condos, and they got villas, and they got A-frames and chalets. They got tree houses, rentals, all available. The golf course is open to the public. What do I mean by that? They do charity events. They do. You can go out there for the day and play golf on the golf course and see for yourself. They also have a fall home tour going on October 18th from noon till 4. Just show up and have a good time. People are going to open up their houses, and you can see for yourself, or they'll probably have a couple of houses for sale there as well. They're opening up new plots of land all the time at Innsbruck, but 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, whole bunch of restaurants, great for weddings and family reunions and golf outings, business retreats. It's got it all, and it's just right there. Innsbruck, it's so close, and yet you feel so far away. Innsbruck, to find out more, Innsbruck-resort.com. Innsbruck-resort.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watch Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top-notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to LaurenRisleyRealty.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's now time for the Press Box with Frank Cusimano on the McGraw-Millhaven Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Walter Knoll Florist. We know flowers.
All right, let's check in with Frank Cusimano, sports guru at Channel 5, and, of course, host here at the Big 550 KTRS. Good morning, Frank Cusimano.
Good morning, McGraw. Hope you are well, sir.
Good. Let's talk Doug Armstrong, because let's look forward and talk about the Blues in the upcoming season. What's going on with the Blues? They've been making some moves, haven't they?
Well, here's the thing. Is they're going to begin the season next Thursday, and this roster is so stacked and loaded that these, final 7 days, there are real battles. Like they had this Milan Lucic, who's 37 years old, has a good kind of resume. If you're going to be a playoff team, you want these vets, but he hasn't played in a couple of years. So he's fighting for his life, fighting for his career to try to win a spot on this roster. But overall, McGraw, this team is so locked and loaded. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to almost like fast forward it 1 year, because some of these guys like Snuggerud and eventually Dvorsky, like 2 years from now, this team's going to be scary. This year's team's going to be good because they have a full training camp under Jim Montgomery. Some young players have already taken the next step in their careers. But I think that down the road, they're going to be special. It's amazing, McGraw, the difference in the exoduses of Doug Armstrong and John Mozeliak, in that Mozeliak, his squad, almost the cupboard is kind of bare, but with Armstrong, it's locked and loaded. And the other thing is, although Doug is going to give the reins to, Alexander Steen, he's still going to be active. I was told by somebody that they're not going to make a move without Doug Armstrong's approval moving forward. So they have so much in common in that each have 2 kids, each won a championship as an assistant GM, each won a championship as a head GM, but their exoduses are a lot different.
All right, good. Who's going to be the big goal scorer? Who's going to score the goals for the Blues this year?
Well, I think this combo of Jordan Kyrou and Dylan Holloway together are going to be unbelievable. Now, Robert Thomas is their best player, and I think Snuggerud's going to score 20 at age 22. So their top 2 lines are really good.
All right, let's talk the Cardinals this year. Season's over with, but I thought it was interesting in all the comments, the DeWitts, Bill DeWitt III, did acknowledge that they've noticed very well, it didn't go unnoticed by ownership, that attendance dropped off quite a bit this year.
Yeah, I think the way he phrased it was message accepted or message sent.
Yeah.
So, McGraw, the number is 628,000 fewer people went to a Cardinal game this year than the previous year. That's the biggest drop-off in Major League Baseball by a long shot. And keep in mind, you had a couple of teams, the Rays and A's, who moved to minor league stadiums, yet the Cardinals had the biggest decrease in attendance. And you know what? They can talk about safety, which is a small factor, and they can talk about the stadium experience, which is a small factor. The bottom line is winning. And they had that off season where they were as quiet as a monastery, so there wasn't that great season ticket uptick. And then you have a team that finishes 6 games under 500. It was a perfect storm, and it's not shocking that the attendance dropped that dramatically.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All the other stuff is sort of ancillary. You win, the fans will come back in droves. What do you make of Albert being floated as a major league manager? Is that possible this quick after he retired?
Yeah, the guy who broke the story, Bob Nightingale, who I'm sure you heard of, USA Today, and I texted with Bob yesterday. I said, just percentage chances, because he's tighter with Albert than anybody in the media, and he said 70%. I think it's stunning, and I think it's, I don't want to judge a human being, but it seems almost stupid. The Angels have not had a playoff season since 2014. They haven't had a winning season since 2015. They finished dead last. There's no way they're going to be any better. God bless Albert, but man, if you've made $300 million and you're going to go in the Hall of Fame in a couple of years, why would you put yourself through that torture? But if he wants to do it, more power to him. Here's the one thing I don't understand is Albert would talk to us probably 10 times a year. When he becomes the manager of a Major League Baseball team, he talks to the media 3 and 4 times a day for 180 times a year if you count spring training. So that's the role I can't picture him in. I know he knows baseball and he's a great teammate, but man, I just don't see it.
I'm with you. And the first time this was floated, even Yadier Molina, right? I mean, God love them. They weren't necessarily the most media friendly. And, Albert, again, God love him, but a little gruff from time to time with the media, and he wants to go about his business and do his deal. The job of the manager is to be the face of the organization. And so I don't know if he's going to be ready to be the face of an organization, as you say, 3 or 4 times a day, every day.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Yachty, because Yachty makes Albert look like William F. Buckley in terms of being chatty. I mean, Yachty talked 3 or 4 times a year, and they're good men, and I love them to death. But man, you're right, McGraw, and people don't realize this. It really is a big part of the job.
Yeah, no, interesting. All right, Chaim Bloom said all the right things, I guess, right?
He did, and he did it in kind of a real smooth, eloquent fashion. I said he has a little bit of a JFK Jr. look to him. He's also, really, really smart, went to Yale. He said he was really crappy in baseball, but he got the bug early and always wanted to do this, hustled himself into all these jobs. I mean, when you're the director of baseball operations for a major league team at 29, that's pretty impressive. But now he's inheriting a team lacking in franchise. McGraw, the three teams that finished ahead of the Cardinals this year in the division are simply better. And the Pirates, who finished behind them, have much better pitching. So good luck trying to get this thing going without spending a whole lot of money in free agency.
You know, it kills me. And I know, it, Frank, it must kill you because you, right, growing up a baseball fan, me growing up a baseball fan, if somebody would have told me in 8th grade when they started with this calculus stuff, when I said, what purpose is this going to be used for? Why do I need to learn, right, the circumference of a circle or the volume of a cylinder? If they would have told me, I would have been able to figure out the launch angle for a third baseman and you could become general manager, I would have studied harder in math. I thought you needed to know baseball to become a general manager. Turned out you needed to know math.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Yeah, Bill James kind of started it that way, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I would have studied. I would have gone to math class more. God love you. All right, what's coming up on the show today?
We're going to have a great pizza place in. Stick around, McGraw, for after 10 o'clock. Epic Pizza coming in. Really do some good stuff. We're going to talk with Mark Maxwell about politics, and we're going to have a great musician in the St. Louis area playing songs during our program.
Epic Pizza down in Soulard, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. All right, good. I like Frank's show on Thursdays. It's the best one of the week. All right, Frank, have a good drive in. We'll see you when you get here. Frank Cusimano here at the Big 550 KTRS. And, of course, Channel 5. Right? I mean, if they would have, if Mrs. Bland in 8th grade would have said, stop talking to Liz Mulholland and pay attention to what I'm talking about. And I said, what am I going to need this for?
You could be a baseball general manager.
What do I need to know the cosine of 17 for? What's the point of this? Well, someday you could grow up and become general manager of the Mets. I said, really? I need this to become right? I was like, yeah. Instead, I blew off math class and went to baseball practice. I should have blown off baseball practice and gone to math class to end up to become general manager. They didn't tell me that. 8:47 here, Big 550 KTRS. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain, take it away.
McGraw westbound 70 is open again after being closed between Adelaide and Cary due to a fatal accident that was reported at 5:45 a.m. The residual slowdown extends all the way back to Broadway and Cass, but it is thinning out. Side streets surrounding the accident are also seeing slowdowns. Elsewhere, there's a crash on northbound 270 at Gravois with traffic backed up to Tesson Ferry. Northbound 270 is also congested from 44 to 64. An accident on eastbound 70 at Airflight is off on the shoulder, but traffic is slow back to St. Charles Rock Road. Eastbound 64 crowded from McKnight to Big Bend, and westbound 64 is busy in front of Forest Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Is Vanderbilt ranked 16th in the country? Is that even possible?
Vandy?
A couple years ago, they had a female kicker. Now they're 16th in the country. Not to say there's anything wrong with a female kicker. I'm just saying it was a bit of a novelty.
Well, she graduated. Now they're 17.
16th in the country. Alabama taking on Vandy this weekend. And then Alabama is the next opponent for Missouri. So that Alabama-Missouri game could be pretty big next week. Hey, let's talk about retirement here for a second. Because Kevin Lloyd is where it's at. Look, we taped the show yesterday for the weekend, and we got on a conversation about this when it comes to retirement. Let's talk about rate of return. We talk about this on the show this week. In the accumulation phase, it doesn't matter what the rate of return is. This year you've had a 2% rate of return. Next year you have a -4. Next year you have a +10, and then right. It doesn't matter because you keep adding money in. But when you retire, if you have a bad year early in terms of the markets going south and you're taking money out, and then on top of that, then you have to take money out for taxes, that puts a real big wrench into your retirement plans. So you want to keep as much money in those accounts so that they're there to grow. That's Kevin Lloyd. That's what he does. He comes up with a financial strategy so you can reduce your taxes in retirement so the highs and lows sort of even out and you're able to retire and have a happy retirement. You've done all the heavy lifting. You've done the savings. Now you just want to hold on to it. That's where Kevin Lloyd comes in. 314-641-1010. What are you waiting for? 314-641-1010. That's why he gets paid. He gets paid because he saves you the taxes. He works, right? It's not just the new hot stock. It's all the other things he does to save you money, to keep it in those accounts so that it'll grow. 314-641-1010 or the website whenretirementhappens.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newsletter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Navigating to and through retirement doesn't have to be complex. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means. Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis.
Every January, the gyms are full and the resolutions are big. But by February, most people have already given up. That's why Premier U helps people flip the script. Don't wait for January. Fall is the perfect time to start a weight loss journey. Premier U's personalized programs use today's most effective weight loss medications paired with expert support. Why wait to start fresh? Call Premier U today or visit premierumed.com to get started. Your future self will thank you.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's get right to it. 8:52 here, Big 550 KTRS. Kristen Rose joins us. Kristen, what's your official title?
I'm a speech-language pathologist and a clinical instructor at St. Louis University.
Okay, and you've brought along a friend with you, Jamie Saunders Anglin. Jamie, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you for having me.
And what is your title?
Mom.
Mom. I need you to talk right into that microphone.
Okay. Mom of a person who stutters.
You are the mother of a child who stutters.
Yes.
Boy or a girl?
Girl.
How old?
16.
Interesting, because normally, right, it's more men than girls, is it not?
That's historically what we're seeing is more men. In the research, it would say more men than women stutter, but I think a lot of girls and women who stutter are those covert stutterers who switch their words, try to hide their stuttering.
Oh.
So I think as stuttering acceptance is starting to hit the mainstream,
right,
we're finding that more and more girls actually do stutter. So I think that there needs
So they
to be,
hit it so well
they
that it didn't even show up in the data.
Right.
That's
yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
My sister is a stutterer. She's a teacher. God love her. My grandfather was a stutterer, and I'm a stutterer, and it's just sort of the world we live in. Jamie, your daughter is a stutterer. She's 16 years old, and you're on a mission because don't get in the middle of a mother who has a child who stutters.
That's right. We went to the DMV when she was 14 to get a state ID, and so. After we finished the paperwork, I said, can you put something on her ID that says she has a stutter or verbal diversity? And the lady looked and looked and looked. She said, we don't have anything. I was like, what? I said, oh, baby, I'll be back. I will be back. I said, but by the time she comes back at 16 to get her, driver's license, you will have something for her. And the medical alert was available 8 days after her 16th birthday.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
It means that there's a little, insignia
Right.
that will be on the driver's license that will say speech impaired, like a medical cross.
Okay.
So when police approach the car or she has to give her ID, they will know that they're interacting with a person with a verbal diversity.
And so how did you go about doing this?
Well,
I teamed up.
Again, don't get in the
Yes.
middle. Don't get in the middle
But
of a mother.
Jamie is unstoppable.
So what'd you do?
I sent out 3 emails. I said, we got to get this done. Driving while black is one thing, but
Right.
driving while black with a stutter could be 2 things.
Sure, absolutely, sure.
So, when people stutter, they often look away. So I didn't want a police officer or someone to think that she was being disrespectful or looking for something in the car,
Right. Yeah.
because it's more comfortable not to make eye contact when you're trying to get your words out. I definitely didn't want them to think that she was under the influence of some kind of drug
Right.
by stuttering,
This is heartbreaking.
Yes, if she got a block, because, increased anxiety
Yes.
increases the stutter.
Yeah.
So I called my friend Chris. I said, we got to protect my baby.
Mhm.
I said, so let's get this done. And we partnered and
So you sent 3 emails to who? Can
I
you take care of my speeding ticket?
well, I sent email to St. Louis University. I think it was the University of Missouri.
Yeah. Our friend Matt Krause at University of Missouri is helping out with this.
And did you have to get a law passed? Did you have to get a law changed? Was it just a...
No. Unfortunately, that's what I thought in the beginning. I
Yeah.
said, oh, my goodness, we're going to have to go through Jefferson City. But once we partnered with the Missouri,
Missouri Speech Language Hearing Association, MISHA. It's like the organization for all the speech language pathologists in the state of Missouri.
Sure, okay.
So they had a lobbyist who did all the research to find out what steps we needed to take to get this done. They did the grunt work.
Right. And so now it's official Missouri policy that when you get a driver's license, you can ask for a moniker, a demarcation on your driver's license that says speech impaired.
Right.
Are we the first state to have this? Other states do this?
Illinois and Texas have laws, but we don't know if we're the first state to have this insignia that goes through the DMV. That was the cool part, is we didn't have to have a law passed.
Right.
We were able to.
It was just
through Brent's
administrative
help,
change.
Just a change in the computer system.
Right.
And I think the really cool thing about this, it doesn't just apply to people who stutter, people who've had a stroke, people who've had a traumatic brain injury,
Right.
people with Parkinson's, or people with a developmental speech difference. It stops, and it's not even at the interaction. The first responders can pull it up on their,
So when they're looking at the license plate and they know the person owns the car, it pops up, they have a speech impediment or they have a speech issue.
Right, because there are cards, like the National Stuttering Association has cards that people can present that I'm a person who stutters. But if a police officer sees you reaching for something, there might be a misunderstanding.
Sure.
So this stops right at that very interaction. So they have to. There's a form on the DMV website that they take to their physician, and the physician signs that they have a speech impairment.
Right.
And it could be any origin. I mean, it started because of stuttering.
Right.
But Jamie works for the Division of Aging.
St. Louis Area Agency on Aging.
Right. Yeah.
She's a social worker, so she's using her background in that to make this all-encompassing, really powerful medical alert.
Yeah, Jamie, you changed the world.
I'm trying.
You changed the world, right? You've now also, I'm sure the police officers and the first responders embrace this too. They don't want to cause any problems. They don't want to feel threatened. They want to help out the person, and if they're able to find out and get more information, they can then do what they need to do to help.
Right.
So we're in the process of working on a curriculum
Yeah.
to educate police and EMT, educators,
Yeah.
everyone on.
I got 30
stutter.
seconds. Where do people go for more information? What do you want them to know? Is there a website?
They can go to westutter.org, the National Stuttering Association, or they can go to.
They can reach out to me at Christine.
This is email's killing me.
This is
westutter.org.
Yes.
Westutter.org. You can get a hold of me at the radio station.
Or the DMV website. The DMV website. It's on there.
Christine Rose, you're always welcome here. You know that.
Thank you.
Jamie Saunders Anglin, you are always welcome here.
Thank you.
Bring your 16-year-old daughter and we'll have a conversation on the radio. How about that?
will.
You
She's
got
awesome.
it. Christine and Jamie, westutter.org.
Yep.
Right.
9 o'clock, ABC News already in progress.
Foreign desk.
This was an absolutely horrific attack. You know, the details are terrifying. We know that police were called after witnesses said that they saw a man driving a car. He then rammed into members of the public. The man wielding a knife then killed at least 2 people. We understand that 3 members of the public are also in serious condition.
The gunman was later shot and killed by police. Security stepped up at synagogues across the UK. Members of the Israeli Navy boarding dozens of boats that were headed to Gaza loaded with humanitarian aid. Those on board, mostly activists, including Nelson Mandela's grandson and Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. They all knew they would be stopped. Now they have been detained, says ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv.
Organisers sharing video of what they claim is intimidation by the Israeli military against the flotilla. Israel accusing the flotilla of provocation, asking it to change course because it was entering an active combat zone and to deliver the aid instead to a port in Israel to be taken to Gaza.
The federal government shutdown is now on its second day. President Trump says he may begin permanently laying off furloughed workers as soon as today. ABC's Rachel Scott's on Capitol Hill.
As of right now, there is no end in sight. Congress is out of session today. The Senate returns tomorrow, the House on Monday. And it is important to note that even as these furloughs are happening, federal workers going without pay, these threats of mass firings throughout the federal workforce, lawmakers will still get their paychecks even during a government shutdown.
Because of the shutdown, we likely will not get monthly unemployment numbers tomorrow as scheduled. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller all in Memphis meeting with federal agents who are forming a crime-fighting task force there. This is ABC News.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
If you've got the sniffles, sore throat, slight fever, etc., join the club. The common cold's spreading a lot more now than it has in recent years.
At the pharmacy where Jonathan Harwood works, he sees it every year.
A lot of cough, runny nose, sneezing, some fever.
Considering the current uptick in the common cold coincides with the start of flu season, Dr. Rishma Shan says,
I am worried about what's going to happen in the winter months.
And if your cold symptoms last more than 3 days, she recommends seeing a physician. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
New allegations made by the Commerce Secretary, who used to live next door to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. ABC's Jay O'Brien has a little more on that.
One of President Trump's cabinet secretaries claiming that high-profile associates of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein not only knew of his behavior, but some even participated. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Epstein's former neighbor, recounting his alleged experience with the deceased billionaire to the New York Post, saying he believes Epstein may have traded alleged blackmail videos for a lesser prison sentence during his first criminal case in 2008.
And last month, FBI Director Kash Patel testified there was no credible evidence that Epstein trafficked to anyone other than himself. Berkshire Hathaway acquiring OxyChem, a company that makes chlorine for water treatment centers and mixtures used to treat icy roads for nearly $10 billion. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Sunset Hills Subaru is a proud local business that has served the St. Louis metro area since 1963. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, their friendly, knowledgeable, and experienced team will get you into the Subaru that was built for you. And when you visit their massive showroom, you can expect the superior customer service that you deserve that's become synonymous with Sunset Hills Subaru. Located on Watson Road in Sunset Hills, they're only a stone's throw from St. Louis, Kirkwood, Arnold, and the Metro East. Browse or shop online at sunsethillsubaru.com.
71 degrees at 9:05. A suspect is being sought in connection with a fatal hit and run in South St. Louis. Police say a pedestrian was struck and killed along Winnebago in Ohio at just before 7:30 last night. The driver left the scene, according to police. The victim's name has not been released. Anyone with any information should call St. Louis Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-TIPS. Meanwhile, an investigation is underway after a pedestrian was struck and killed along I-70 in North St. Louis. Police say this happened at around 5:30 this morning in the westbound lanes of I-70 near Carey Street. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page sent his proposed 2026 budget to the County Council, focused on ensuring no more cuts are made to public safety, public health, and road work. Also in the budget, Page is asking the County Council to place the April 2026 ballot a proposed online sales tax that is already paid at local retail businesses. Governor J.B. Pritzker has unveiled the largest infrastructure program in Illinois' history. Pritzker announced that $50 billion will be invested over 6 years to build and repair infrastructure in the state. The new program will be spread across all modes of transportation in every Illinois county. It includes $400 million to support 223 local projects, ranging from street and transit upgrades to bike and pedestrian improvements. General Mills is set to close 3 Missouri plants. The company announced it shut down 2 facilities in Joplin and a food service facility in St. Charles as part of its restructuring plan. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Noel Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is up 114 points to 46,500. The S&P is up 4 points to 6,700. And the NASDAQ is up 36 points to 22,800. In KTRS Sports, Mizzou football has sold out their November 15th matchup with Mississippi State, leaving the November 8th tilt with Texas A&M as the only game with tickets available. The Tigers play Alabama a week from Saturday in what will be the 17th consecutive sellout at Memorial Stadium. The Blues host the Ottawa Senators in exhibition play tonight at Enterprise Center. The Note is still looking for their first victory this preseason. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose westbound 70 is running at the speed limit after it was closed for about 3 hours at Adelaide due to a fatal accident. An accident on eastbound 70 at Airflight has traffic backed up to St. Charles Rock Road. There's a crash on westbound 70 at 141. Northbound 270 congested from 44 to Manchester. Eastbound 44 is crowded from McKnight to Big Bend. And westbound 64 is busy in front of Forest Park. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, sunny today with a high of 87. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 65. And tomorrow, sunny with a high of 85. It's currently 71 degrees at 9:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, let me tell you about St. Mary's High School, because St. Mary's High School was given a death sentence, really, when you think about it. A couple of years ago, the Archdiocese said we got to pull the funding, we got to pull our support. And so normally what would have happened if St. Mary's was a normal high school, it would have closed up shop, and all that would have been left were the memories. But St. Mary's and the people attached and affiliated with St. Mary's said it's way too important to let it close up. And so they got together and they started raising money and got some support and kept it going. Funny thing happened along the way. Class sizes started to increase. Parents started to realize it was really a great place to send their young boys. And then what happened? unions started getting involved, saying, hey, could we start teaching these young men skills for the 21st century? We need, union jobs aren't what people think. You need to be smarter. You need to be physical, but you need to have computer skills and manufacturing skills and engineering skills and math skills. And then all of a sudden, businesses started showing up saying, hey, you know what? We need people to do this. And how about we teach them some skills to do that? And all of a sudden, St. Mary's is not only back up on its feet, but it's thriving. Throw in a couple of state championships in there. They announced that they've owned now the building and the land, and St. Mary's is thriving once again. It's a story that should be a Hollywood movie. So if you're looking for an all-boys Catholic education for your young men, you don't have to be Catholic, and you don't have to live in Dutchtown, because kids come from all over, from all religions and all parts of town, to be taught at St. Mary's. stmaryshs.com. stmaryshs.com. Find out more. stmaryshs.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Sure, AAA are the folks who can get you back on the road when you have a flat tire. They can also provide quality and affordable home and auto insurance. But when you think of AAA, think of this too, AAA Travel. Hi, it's Julie Buck, and AAA Travel is ready to plan your next trip or vacation. And you don't have to be a member to enjoy their services. Of course, membership does have its privileges. To find a AAA advisor near you, just visit AAA.com/travel. Remember, the internet is for looking. AAA.com/travel is for booking.
Football is back, which means Dogtown is back. Dogtown Pizza, that is. And with 12 games on Mizzou's upcoming football schedule, you can have a different pizza every game. Kick off the season with a bacon, have a hot chicken on homecoming, and save that pepperoni peppercini, my favorite, for Arkansas. It's football season, and nothing goes better with the pigskin than a hot Dogtown Pizza. Let's cheer on those Missouri Tigers. M-I-Z... D-O-G, Dogtown Pizza, and dogtownpizza.com.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Boy, did I get beat up on the text line. 913 here at Big 550 KTRS. Phone numbers are as follows. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Let's see here. Epic Pizza coming your way a little bit later on in the day. Not a bad idea, Frank Cusimano. Good stuff. Then you see that story where that pizza crust manufacturing plant is going to close. I often suspected, didn't really do any research because I really wasn't that curious, but I am now kind of. All these pizzerias, they got to get all the dough from the same place, right? They're not making their own dough
unless they have a bakery.
Somebody out there is making the dough and you just order the dough, I would think, right? I mean, I can't imagine all these pizza places are making their own dough balls, right?
Or they buy the dough balls.
That's what I'm saying. So there's some factory somewhere in St. Louis, and all they do is make pizza balls. And, they mix the water and the flour, throw a little salt in there, put some yeast in there, and they do it. Well, there's a story in the Post-Dispatch that apparently one of the pizza dough ball factories is closing up shop.
That's going to mean they'll all have to go to the same one.
Well, that's what I love about business, right? There's somebody out there is making a fortune just selling flour and water mixed and yeast, right? Or somebody's right. Somebody makes. Recently, I went and I got some topsoil and some mulch, right? So you go and you just go to the place, and what does that guy do? He takes in leaves and he grinds them up and pours some water on them and add a little thyme, and then he gets mulch, and then he sells it. Then he sells it back to you, right? You got to hand off the leaves in the fall. You got to pay him to take the leaves, and then in the spring you got to pay him to take the leaves back as mulch and put it in the ground again.
Give it back to you.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Phone numbers 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. When I worked from the Country Club Car Wash text line, when I worked at a pizzeria, we made our dough every Thursday. We called it Dough Day. A lot of pizza places make their pizza crust already farmed and made, and they bring it in frozen. A lot of pizza places, buy their pizza crust. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Don't. It's got to be cheaper to have somebody come in and sell every week, drop them off, or every day, or whatever else. Yeah. Papa Murphy's takes and bakes pizza places that mix their own crusts on site each store. I don't know if there are any Papa Murphy's left, but the few times I've had Papa Murphy's, I love Papa Murphy's. Your favorite place, Filoni's, makes their own dough, and then dough after the pizza is made. It's called compost, not mulch. I apologize. Sorry. All right. So I got beat up on the text line because earlier I explained how, and I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is talk about this government shutdown, because this is the game they all play, and this is a classic example of the only argument you use is the argument to defend your position today, because it was 2 years ago when Kevin McCarthy was Speaker of the House, and we were coming down to a government shutdown because they needed to keep the government open. And so Kevin McCarthy wanted to keep the government open when Biden was president. And so what did they do? He offered a clean CR. Just continue the funding at the levels of last year, and we'll keep the government open while we continue to argue over whatever. And what happened? Kevin McCarthy passed the CR, the clean CR, with last year's Biden funding, and was so upsetting by the Republicans that they ousted him. He needed Democrats, right, who were all in favor of passing the CR. A lot of Republicans, but about 90 Republicans voted against it. And then Matt Gaetz passed made the motion to vacate, and then Kevin McCarthy was kicked out as Speaker of the House because he wanted to pass a clean CR. That's how we got Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. Now, 2 years later, Joe Biden's no longer president. President Trump is now president. Mike Johnson has offered the same exact thing, a clean CR, a clean continuing resolution to continue funding at Joe Biden levels, because this is still Joe Biden's. This is Joe Biden's budget. This is right. Trump's budget, right? This is the first one's coming up.
It might be Obama's budget.
Well, so Mike Johnson literally is proposing to keep the funding levels at the same as Kevin McCarthy did 2 years ago. Right? This is Biden's world, and he's just continuing the money from last year that they all signed off on. Republicans are all on board with it. But 2 years ago, they ousted Kevin McCarthy for doing the same thing. Democrats, unacceptable. Cannot vote for this, even though Kevin McCarthy proposed it in Biden's term and you were okay with it. So it's really hilarious that they're all screaming and yelling at each other. And I mentioned this in the radio. I've been called every name in the book. You're a liar. You can tell a good liar. You're not telling the truth. You're only telling half the story, blah, 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 blah. The point is, you want a clean CR. You want to pass a clean CR, depends on who's in the Oval Office. Is your guy in the Oval Office, you want a clean CR. Your guy's not in the Oval Office, you don't want a clean CR. It's a joke. It's an utter joke. It's comical. I did hear somebody say yesterday, might have been Jake Tapper, that they should pass a law that says Congress doesn't get paid if the government's closed. If the government's shut down, okay, I get, furloughed and this and that and fine. Congressmen and senators and presidents and judges, all right, all those people, well, let's just keep it elected officials. So president, Congress, and Senate should lose 1 day of salary for every day the government's closed. And you can't get it back. You know how they say these workers who are furloughed or these workers, they'll get all their back pay. If you're a senator or a congressman or a president and the government's closed down, you just lose that day of pay. There'll never be another government shutdown ever again.
Yeah, but that'll never happen.
Oh, no, it won't. But
it's nice to dream.
Yeah, no, it won't. And or if they had to make the same payments we made for the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, they get their own.
Right. We have to subsidize your health insurance, but heaven forbid we want you to pass a law to subsidize our health insurance. Not so much. But we can subsidize, our tax dollars can subsidize your insurance. Yours can't subsidize our health insurance. But anyway, 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. We can talk about that, talk about what everything little heart desires. Hours are yours. Lots of text messages, not a lot of phone calls. I miss more phone calls. I wish we had more phone calls.
There are 6 Papa Murphy's in the greater St. Louis area.
Oh.
And that includes Washington and O'Fallon and
are there any in
Edwardsville.
Oh.
Yes, there is one on Telegraph, South County. There is one on Big Bend in Baldwin. And the third one is St. Peter's.
Oh. There's one on Mid Rivers Mall Drive, I thought. I don't know if it's still there.
St. Peter's.
That's the one, St. Peter's one. The only problem I had with Papa Murphy's was they put it on a plate, a paper plate. And I was like, do I cook the paper plate? And yeah, you cooked it. I don't know what they do to Papa Murphy's, but Papa Murphy's is solid. All right, 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Phone calls, text messages, all straight ahead. Hey, let me do this. Let me tell you about Bowen Dental Care. I was up there the other day having lunch with Johnny Londoff. SimplySecureDentures.com is the website. Why? Because Simply Secure Dentures. He can take those dentures that aren't secure and he can secure them simply. Hence, Simply Secure Dentures. SimplySecureDentures.com. That's the website to get to Dr. Bowen. Bad-fitting dentures, they don't work anymore. You got new ones. Now they really don't fit very well. One tooth problem, one tooth solution, you can turn them all into implants. Yeah, it's specialty that a lot of dentists don't go and continue with their education on. Dr. Bowen continually on the cutting edge of all of this stuff, constantly going to conferences and being trained and the latest and greatest technology, because he understands that this is a game changer for a lot of people. So Bowen Dental Care, 2 locations, Lee May Ferry Road in South County, Dunn Road in North County, and oh, by the way, a fraction of what those corporate dentists charge. So give them a call and start the path. 314-921-3500 or simply securedentures.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on eastbound 70 at Airflight has traffic backed up to St. Charles Rock Road. There's a crash on westbound 70 at 141, northbound 270 congested from 44 to Manchester, and westbound 64 is busy in front of Forest Park. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Somebody yesterday was at the house, and they were walking out, and they were like, boy, what a great front door. I was like, thanks. That's a window door. That's a window store special. That's a Larry Thornton special. Yeah, absolutely. He came in and put in a new front door. Now, look, front doors can be expensive. You want a good one, you want a quality one. Yeah, they're going to cost some bucks, but you want to make sure that you're not overcharged for the door, and that's where the window store comes in. Numerous friends of mine have said, boy, that's a nice front door. I said, call Larry, he'll take care of you. And invariably they come back and say, boy, significantly less than what I was being quoted for. So, you want a new front door? You call Larry. You want some new windows? You call Larry, you call Joe. They've been doing this a long time. They're a local company. They don't have all of the layers of management that are included in your bill, which means they can charge you less money for that front door. You want to spend more money, feel free going somewhere else. You want to spend less. Well, wait a minute. I buy 1 window, get 7 free. When you compare apples to apples, the window store and Larry and Joe, better pricing, better customer service. They don't do any upselling. They don't get you in on the low introductory rate. And then, of course, the extra, the tack on, the upsells, all that stuff. No. Oh, you want a doorknob? Well, that's going to cost you extra. Look, the window store is where it's at, and they've been doing this for 37 years. So for all of your windows and all your doors, Larry and Joe Thornton are the ones to go to. 314-739-0002. Tell them I sent you when you called. The window store or wswindow.net.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items, plus half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And Get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Deal galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, your point on the budget, it's politics. They're all hypocrites. 3 and 4, Papa Murphy's is the best pizza around. I agree with you and your idea of elected officials not getting paid during a shutdown, but realize most elected officials do not live off these salaries, so would it really make a difference to them? I've met billionaires, I've met millionaires, I've met people on food stamps. And you know what? When a billionaire is owed a nickel, a billionaire wants his nickel. So, yes, I really do think it would make a difference. I know what you're saying, but a lot of these elected officials, some might be billionaires and some might not need it and can float themselves through payday. But many, many, many more congressmen need that money to pay their bills. And so, yeah, there might be a couple who could float themselves, but the overwhelmingly vast majority of them need that money to pay their house in their home district, to pay their house in Washington, D.C., to fly back and forth. The mom and the kid need shoes. Yeah, no, pretty quick it would start to put a crimp in their budget. Joe, line 1. Joe, good morning. Big 550 KTRS.
McGraw.
Hello, sir.
I still have this problem with Trump flying in all these generals from all over the world to show his communist buddies that he's a powerful, strong man too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so rich that you've got a Fox personality and a game show host telling these powerful, bad blank guys that they know the answer to what's going on in your military. And I'm thinking, who in the heck are they?
So why don't you, Joe? God love you, Joe. I love you. I love you calling the show, but it seems like once a month I need to talk you off your ledge.
I know.
Turn off the TV. Turn it off. Put your phone down. Go read a book. Go watch a movie. Do you have grandkids?
Unfortunately, no. That's my problem.
Well, find some, borrow some, rent some, go somewhere, find some kids and take them to the park and take them some ice cream. Go volunteer at a homeless shelter or a senior center. Joe, you're not going to make it. Just turn it off. Go do something else. There's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
Nothing you can do. You can't do anything. So stop.
Your program helps me vent, and when I'm done talking to you, I do feel like a better person.
Okay,
I really do.
All right, good. But seriously, Joe, stop. And family members who are upset with other family members. There's a million other things to talk about. Don't talk about politics because you're not going to agree. This is what they want you to do. It's the social media aspect of this. They need you in some perpetual state of anger to get you to keep watching, to get you to keep listening. They're not doing this to inform you. They're doing this to enrage you. Don't play their game. Don't play it. Just say I'm not playing that game. I'm playing a different game. I'm playing a game like I'm going to help out my neighborhood. I'm going to pick up the trash in the park. I'm going to go plant some trees. I'm going to go help out a senior center. I'm going to go read a book. Joe, there's a million things you can do to make life better for everybody else.
I tell you, McGraw, you always have the answers. I'll say
why are you the only person in the world who knows this? How come everybody else doesn't know this?
Hey, if they hate you, they love you. You know that.
You need to talk to my sisters. I mean, because they've known me their whole lives. They don't realize this.
Oh, I tell you. Well, thanks for helping me vent 15 seconds of vent here. This makes my day now.
Joe, have yourself a good day. Thanks for checking in. The biggest conundrum is the earlier in the show when we were trying to figure out. Maybe I'll ask it now, and that is just a very simple question. Can someone explain to me the difference between a TV and a computer monitor? Because I don't know what it is.
Now, someone did say that they explained it to you. You're just not understanding.
Well, somebody said it's about pixels. Okay, that doesn't help me out here.
And some said
because some
distance.
TVs have more pixels than others. Some TVs have bigger refresh rates, or I know some TVs have last year's chips in them, last year's processor in them. Okay. I can put a Roku in a TV and I can watch TV. I can watch Charter. I can put a Roku in a computer monitor and watch Charter. So what's the difference?
TV. Now, I liked this answer that someone said TVs are capable of getting an over-the-air signal and computer monitors are not.
Okay. All right. That is a legit, straight-up deal. So a TV has an over-the-air component.
Antenna, yeah.
It has an antenna. I can hook up an antenna to a...
I don't think so.
Computer monitor?
I don't think so. I don't think it has the capability for that.
Because to boost the signal of a TV, you often get an antenna, right? It has a built-in antenna, which is terrible.
Yes.
So they sell you a better antenna. I'm wondering if you put an antenna in a computer monitor. Okay, so that's one. But you don't need an antenna if you have Roku or YouTube TV or Charter or whatever.
Cable box.
Because you can stream those.
DirecTV. Yeah.
Right? So you can stream it. So if you don't want anything over the air and you want to stream, they're two different things. A monitor is a monitor. A computer monitor is a monitor. But a TV is a TV. Try buying a small TV. You can't do it. Jim, line one. Good morning, Jim. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Oh, good morning. I've been hearing about your TV.
I apologize.
You just reminded me there your TV issues.
Yes.
And I believe that when you're talking about a TV that small, that you'd be fine with just an older model like a that may only max out at 720p. If it's a 720p, I think you're going to do just fine.
You mean the monitor being a 720p?
No, a TV that's a 720p. Now, the monitor, but I don't know if you've looked online. You could probably find something on there in that size range. But I don't think you'll find one in a store. Now, if you go to one of these small town TV or appliance stores, like there's one in Webster Groves, kind of like there.
On Gore there, on Main Street there. Yeah, there's the old school,
You go talk to those guys, and they're pretty good, and they will. They can pretty much get you anything you want.
Well, this all started because I wanted to mount the TV on my desk, and
so you can watch TV while you're clicking away, right?
While I'm working on my computer, I can have the TV off in the corner, type of deal. And I wanted it attached to the desk, but you can't mount it to the desk. Because they don't, the monitors you can, but the TVs you can't. And then this got us all started on what's the difference between a TV and a monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd go find a little TV because it's going to have a speaker in it,
But I did find a monitor with a speaker in it.
Yeah.
For $100.
You don't have it, but it doesn't have a desktop base, right? Is that what you were saying this morning?
Correct. Right. Yeah. So but I want it. It has like a little stand, but I wanted to be able to, move it out of the way or whatever else, like an arm for the TV. But anyway, it's
I'd go see one of them guys like at the appliance store. But I'll tell you what about this meeting with the military.
Yeah.
And now you have to understand that the officer corps, all these generals, back in it is a congressional appointment, and those guys serve. And unless there's cause, they are pretty much safe. They get promoted. Those officer appointments, they come from Congress and they last. It's very difficult to get rid of them. But
I find that hard to believe. The president can fire the head of the FTC, but he can't fire a general?
Well,
I find that hard to believe.
You run risks. You run risks in doing that. But I'm going to tell you something. I know two of the people. You got the Speaker of the House, and you've got the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, and they've got a character and a belief system. I won't get into it. I think most people that pay attention know exactly what they share in common. And back in 2014, there's a problem within the Air Force.
Hurry up, Jim. I got people I got to get to.
They had a problem with anti-Semitism, people not getting promoted, people being discriminated against, and they also had an issue. There were some nuclear weapons on board an Air Force plane that got outside the chain of command, and a lot of people, some generals did get relieved of duty.
Yeah.
And I believe that they're going to try and get to those generals that have been installed, promoted since 2014, and especially the generals that. Especially the people that have their hands on Pete Hegseth not getting promoted. Those guys, I believe, are in danger. We'll see what happens.
Jim, thanks for the phone call. Truman fired MacArthur, right, in the 1950, whatever it was, 1951. So presidents can fire generals. Ken, line 2. Good morning, Ken. You in the Big 550 KTRS.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, I was just wondering, who do you think wrote the playbook that Trump is going by? Do you think it was his idea?
Abner Doubleday.
Well, could be now. I don't know.
What Trump doing what, Ken? What is what?
Well, with everything, the way he's trying to change everything. You think those are all his ideas, or he's following by some playbook?
What's the Project 2024?
That was Heritage.
Yeah, that was the playbook. And a lot of it's ripped right out of that playbook, Project 2024.
25.
The Project 2025, sorry. That was Project 2024.
Yeah. No, because he would have been elected in January.
Okay, well, whatever it was, yeah. But yeah, Project 2025. Yeah, that was the book. That was the book. That was his sort of I don't want to say that was his general plan. I mean, and a lot of those guys who were involved with that, who wrote that, who were in it, are very much involved in his administration.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I don't think Trump, with his vocabulary, could come up with all these ideas. He's just the mouthpiece to get it done, and whatever the book is telling him to do, and those people, he's just basically following those orders, I would think.
Ken, thanks for the phone call. Dan, good morning, Dan. You're in the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning, McGraw. How are you?
Good, I'm good. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, I think one of the last guys might have already answered this, but your major difference between a monitor and a television, you got two of them. One, a monitor does not have an internal tuner, so that means you can't hook up a antenna and get a signal. It doesn't have a tuner in it.
Okay.
The second difference is most monitors, not all, but most monitors do not have speakers in them. So you may be able to hook up your Roku, but you wouldn't be able to listen to it.
Oh. Interesting. So, so how would, if I have a monitor that doesn't have a speaker and it's attached to a computer, the computer plays sound. Where does that sound come from?
The computer has a monitor or has an audio output on the back of it.
Oh, so the computer is where the speaker is, not the monitor.
Exactly. Imagine this. So take your monitor and your computer and put it into one. That's your TV, especially a smart TV nowadays.
Gotcha. Well, the smart TV, every smart TV I've ever purchased, they always say it's not a very good smart. Always buy a Roku or a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or something, right?
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. I mean, they have their smart TVs, and it's a selling point for a lot of people, but those things get outdated quite quickly. And like Samsung, LG, all the ones that have those built-in apps and stuff like that, eventually they stop supporting them so they can sell a new TV and get that newest smart television out there. If you have a Roku or a Fire Stick, that circumvents the smart TV stuff, and that's quite frankly what I do on almost all my TVs.
Yeah, it's
I have 8 of them.
right. Yeah, so I bought a monitor with a speaker, so that's right. That's pretty good, right? That's
You're ahead of the game at that point. Yeah, you probably would be able to throw a Roku or a Fire Stick on there and be able to listen to it. Now, the quality is not going to be the greatest, but it sounds like you're probably putting it in like a kitchen or a small room.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really need. Yeah, I don't need a supersonic, funkophonic, soundophonic sound. I just need to.
Exactly.
Yeah. All good. Dan, good stuff. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate the help.
You're welcome.
You got. Speaking of books. What is the number one banned book in the United States for the 2024-2025 school year?
I don't know the book, but I know who wrote it.
Don't. Who and what book is the number one, well, the author, and then the book? It's the author. It's a number of books, but it's the author. The number one author banned. Should I tell you now or should I tell you after the break?
Do your commercial, then do it.
The number one author in banned in schools all across the country. We'll tell you in a moment. Walter Noel Florist is going to send you some flowers. In fact, speaking of reading and books and authors, kids are in college. And right about now, October 1st, October 2nd, they're feeling pretty lonely and they're a little homesick. Why don't you go to Walter Noel Florist, WKF.com, and get a nice little care package sent with all the St. Louis stuff. You get Fitz's Root Beer, you get Billy Goat Chip Company, you get Dad's Cookies. I love me some Dad's Cookies. G&W Meats, Sugar Fire Barbecue Sauce. You put all those things in a nice little care package and send them off to college. And the kids are going to be, lamenting, a little Sunday night blues, a little missing of home, and I got this test on Thursday. Oh, look at this. Something from Walter Noel. It's a nice little pick-me-up. It's a nice little thing for you to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Look, flowers are great. Trinkets and stuffies and care packages, all of that can be done at Walter Noel Florist. And, of course, the holidays with the centerpieces and happy occasions and sad occasions, Walter Noel has been sending flowers since the 1880s. So for all of your floral needs, a couple of centerpieces and maybe even a care package for the kids in college, WKF.com, 1-800-341-ROSE. Let Walter Noel be your family florist.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Zero is your hero at HW Kia. Zero down, zero payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even zero tariff pricing on every clearly marked new HW Kia in stock. Stuck in your loan or lease? Big D, the trade man, wants to get you released. Up to 120% over fair market value for your trade. Have a job clearing $450 a week? You're practically approved. Only at HWKia.com. On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, 587, title, and registration processing fee. Negative equity, refinancing, new loan. Expires September 6, 2025. Zero is your hero at HW Kia. Zero down, zero payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even zero tariff pricing on every clearly marked new HW Kia in stock. Have a job clearing $450 a week? You're practically approved. Lease a new Seltos S, Nero LX, or Soul, just $99 a month. And you guessed it, zero security deposit. Only at HWKia.com. On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, 587, title, and registration processing fee. Negative equity, refinancing, new loan. 24 months, 10,000 mile lease. 49.95 due. Offers not a combination. Expires September 6, 2025.
Let's talk about legacy. Yingling, 196 years of brewing. Family owned for 6 generations. That's elite. That's first ballot Hall of Fame status. But even the legends evolve. So meet the next generation of light beer. Flight, just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. This isn't some watered no flavor regret in a can beer. Flight is crisp, clean, and actually tastes like beer. It's time to level up, St. Louis. Flight from Yingling. TG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, 950 here, Big 550 KTRS. Here you go. From the Country Club Car Wash text line. Did I hear Dan right? He has 8 TVs. I think he said he had 8 TVs. The answer is Shakespeare. You are incorrect. Dr. Seuss, incorrect. Mark Twain, incorrect. The number 1 author banned in of schools in America is none other than Stephen King.
Woke.
Stephen King, with the 2 books being Carrie and The Stand, among the 87 of his works that have been banned. That's kind of interesting. There is an organization called PEN America, banned in the USA. They released this story yesterday, tracks more than 6,800 instances of books being temporarily or permanently pulled from schools. The new number is that new number, 26,800. That's down from more than 10,000 in 23 and 24, but still far above the levels a few years ago when this organization didn't even need to send out a report because there were so few banned books. So banned books are now a new hot thing.
For a while, it was Harry Potter.
80% of the bans have originated in just 3 states that have enacted or attempted to enact laws calling for the removal of books that they find objectionable: Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. Meanwhile, this organization, PEN, found that little or no instances of removals in Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey. Interesting. It's increasingly a story of 2 countries, the director says, and it's not just a story of red states versus blue states. In Florida, not all the school districts responded to the calls for banning books. You find it different from county to county. Stephen King's books were censored 206 times. Carrie and The Stand among them. The most banned work of any author was A Clockwork Orange. It was banned 23 different times. Other books, Patrick McCormick's Sold, Judy Blume's Forever in 1975 that came out. Some other ones here. A lot of these are New York Times best-selling books.
Well, you know what The Stand's about? A pandemic.
Yeah, I read that. No, I read it in college.
That's the Killer Clown.
Yeah, that's the Killer Clown. I wish they would have banned that book. That book was scary.
They're making a prequel to that.
19 Minutes by Joni Picoult. Is that how you say it?
I know who you're talking about.
Picoult. Most banned books in 50 or more school districts in 2023 and 2024. They're pretty obscure. The Handmaid's Tale.
That's not obscure.
The Kite Runner, which seems weird. Why would they want to ban that one? Looking for Alaska by John Green.
19 Minutes is about a school shooting.
Okay. All right. Water for Elephants. It seems weird. But there you go. Banned books. I understand the idea of banned books. People don't want you to read the book, but I don't think people understand how libraries work. You walk into a library, they don't force you to read the book, right? If you don't want your kid to read Forever by Judy Blume,
it's got sex in it.
You can actually say don't read that book. right? And so it's not like they force you to read the books. It's on the shelves. You do what you want. But if you really are against the book, the last thing you want to do is actually bring attention to it.
It's a Streisand effect.
Right, yeah. Why would you want, if you don't want to give this book any attention, you give it attention. It's the greatest thing in the world. Book authors, I've never had a conversation about banning a book with a book author. But I would think if one book author, they would want their book to be banned, because then that ultimately gives them a chance to get more attention in a crowded field of books. I keep on going back to that woman who wrote that. Was it Janine Cummings? The woman who wrote that book that was banned. She's I think it was Jeanette Cummings. And let me see here.
Was it The Rip in Heaven?
So Jeanette Cummings, I think that was the woman. She's from St. Louis, actually. And she was planning a book signing at Left Bank Books, believe it or not. Left Bank Books. And it was, in essence, banned. Because, now, right, for the right, it's banned. For the left, or right, in one instance, it's banned. In the other instance, it's cancel culture. So I don't really understand the difference.
It was Janine Cummings at Left Bank Books in 2020, and the book was American Dirt.
Yes. So
she's a controversial author.
Right. And so she was canceled. She was canceled from the left. You're banned from the right, apparently. But it's the same thing. Right. And so she wrote a book in which, in the book, she had a character, I believe, was from Mexico. And she was canceled because she wasn't allowed as a writer to write in the point of view as a Mexican immigrant because she wasn't a Mexican immigrant. Wrap your head around that logic. I mean, that's insane.
A fictional story.
A fictional story.
About fictional characters.
Right. This book was, I think Oprah signed. I mean, it was like Oprah cheered it on, and all of a sudden Oprah got into trouble because how dare you? But think about that. Wrap your head around that for a second. A woman writes a book, and in the book there's a character from Mexico and is a immigrant and whatever, right? It was from Mexico. Her heritage was Mexican. And the American writer couldn't write about it because she wasn't Mexican. That's insane. And banned, canceled from Left Bank Books, which is supposed to be a liberal bastion of book authors. And they'd be against banning books until they were offended by a book and then had to ban it. So, right? Am I wrong? I mean, I'm nuts. And then there was another one where I think she said one of the characters was an undocumented worker. And she was like, well, I married an undocumented person. And then the people got upset because I think she married somebody or was affiliated with somebody who was from Ireland, who overstayed their visa. And she had the audacity to call him undocumented. And she was like, what? He's not allowed to work here. He's undocumented. And they're like, no, you can only use that about Mexicans or Latino. It was nuts. The whole conversation was nuts. But yeah, no, so don't thumb your nose. These people who ban books, right? Liberals do it just as much as conservatives. Neighbors Credit Union, neighborscu.org, neighborscu.org. They opened up something called Smart Accounts for the kids, teach the next kids about financial literacy. Also, the next generation can help out by debit all day. Neighbors asked, what do you need in a checking account? And one of the big things that came back was stop killing us with the fees. And so Neighbors Credit Union opened up a debit all day, which cuts down the fees tremendously, including those overdraft fees. 8 area locations. To find the one nearest you, neighborscu.org. neighborscu.org, 8 area locations. Stop by and open up a smart account or a debit all-day account. All right, I'm done. We're going to transition to Frank and Jill, and hopefully that pizza's here. So, not here yet? Oh, I'm sticking around for that epic pizza. You know why? Because it's epic. See you tomorrow. Thanks for putting up with me.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash